Hello, everyone, and welcome to Play Dicely After Party. My name is Christy Clow, and this is the Talkback Show where myself, my wonderful castmates, and the incredible DM of our adventures discuss the most recent episodes of Play Dicely, which, if you don't know, thank you for being here. It's our D&D actual play show that airs live, here on Twitch every other Sunday at 6 p.m. And before we start this episode, quick shout out to Tim from Tabletop Audio for the music that you will be hearing tonight. We have a very hefty episode today as we discuss the episodes of Play Dicely, number 30, 31, and 32, which is a gift to charity, Boiler Room Blitz, and From the Flames. So let us begin dissecting everything that happened, because it was a lot and it was a little bit emotional at certain parts. Maybe
30 was a long time ago too.
It was, yeah. So
also, that was the one that Dallas wasn't even there for.
I'm just here to learn, honestly.
Yes, a lot did happen. Like at this point, truly, like what, 2 months ago? I don't even know. So
Would have been June 12th.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was a long time
pretty
ago.
much 2 months. Holy moly! Okay, well, this will be a good journey back in our memories together. So in case you guys forgot, that episode did actually start with us and Matt playing Vermin as we were drinking with him and his crew, including Bernarda, which
boo. We never saw her again.
Yeah, she probably isn't that important, right?
Wasn't relevant later at all. So yeah, he started off telling us a story about, is it Ortez? Ortez and the Nether Giant. You guys remember, obviously, right?
I did the recap for this episode.
Oh, so it's
I had to learn because
that's why I don't know anything about this episode.
Yeah. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting story, and it was kind of maybe like something we could investigate once we've saved the world, or before. Who knows how the timeline's going to go? But basically, there could be a body of another giant hidden beneath a crater, which might be in Witch Hat Lake, which I thought was really interesting. So just some fun lore that we had. Vermin also tells us about how he got all of his giant runes, which Nell found really interesting because it was kind of like, oh, you know a little bit about giants too. Cool. And that also he is a shifter and has a specific interest in druids because of it. So he was trying to barter information with us to learn kind of what we knew about the druids, which I don't think we ever really gave him anything, but that might be something that happens off screen potentially, because I know Matt was going to ask about that. Yeah, so obviously we may be a little bit biased because Matt is our friend, and certain things happened later on in other episodes that might be relevant. But how trustworthy did Vermin seem to the party during this conversation? Or did you guys have any opinion at all?
I think Vermin's okay. I think Vermin can still be trusted, but it's gonna be like, hey, you definitely need to know more about your team. And if you didn't know that about your team, then you're cut off, man. You gotta stop. You gotta stop pretending like you know a bunch of stuff.
I don't know. I mean, he's a gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's like, let me tell you this story of ancient lore, and then he's like, I don't know shit about my friends.
Yeah. To be fair, though, Bernarda may have been hiding that for a very long time, and even if Vermin did know, why would he care what god she worships or actually worships? Right?
Yeah.
And that's a good point, because I don't think that Malden is super well known by the majority of the population, so it seems. So, I mean, even if she did bring it up, which I would doubt, because they do seem like it's something they keep under wraps, he probably would have no fucking clue what that even meant. Just like, all right, cool, like, neat.
Also, if she owned her own warehouse and business, what's Vermin gonna say? Like, oh, I'm going to do my job at my work, which happens to be Malden related, but he doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I might be freaking remembering things wrong, but I feel like last session, Otez the Fire Eater's name was brought up again for some reason. I can't remember.
Was it?
yes, I think somebody worshipped them. I think it was Bernarda. I don't know.
Hey, can you recall for us?
Can you do brain thing? Ryan's tired.
Oh, is that-
Interesting.
Is
You
that who that
guys
is?
might need to put this together in your own heads.
Are you
Get
telling
the
me?
group lore, Doc.
I
you're
have
telling
supplied
me-
the pieces, and you must tie them together.
Oh no.
Oh,
Ryan,
that's
you're so
she-
smart.
That's who she said she worshipped originally. Is that what it is?
Oh wait, no. Otez the Far Reacher was one of the champions of Malden.
There you go.
Ah,
Oh,
there you
really?
go.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
Teni said.
When? How did I not hear
Figure
that?
that out.
Yeah.
When was this said?
Put it in the dock.
He literally said it, I'm pretty sure.
When?
At some point. I don't remember when.
Danny,
Near the end.
when?
It was probably during that session at some point. He was and I messed up calling it, like, because there are the 3 different champions. What? And I even to this point I still don't remember. Is it the Endless Wanderer?
Yeah.
Adam, thank you for clarification. So yeah, he is the Endless Wanderer.
Oh, fucking shit.
And
I
it
think
was
I wrote that down
Bernarda.
too and
It
didn't
was
even,
Bernarda
like-
that told Vermin the legend of Otez Nasoon, the Far Reacher.
And that makes dollary dues, don't it?
Oh,
Oh.
gosh.
Shit.
Who
Oh my
knows
God.
who he was fighting? A big scary giant that
I
we've
fucking wrote it
maybe heard
down.
about before? I don't know.
Oh, welcome.
Adam,
figured it
stop
out.
this.
Wait. What did you just say?
I'm assuming that story was. We've said the name 6 times. Obrez?
Otez.
Otez.
Otez, sorry.
I thought it was Ortez.
You get a
Oprah.
sword.
God
Is there
damn it!
not an R?
Let me
Is there
open my
not an R?
doc.
Big O. Probably not what I should call him.
It's not better.
It's not better, no.
It's kind of better.
It's kind of better.
Wow.
Thank you, Jonimus.
He was a storm giant?
Yes.
Big storm? Is that better?
No.
Big storm.
Big Stormo.
Stormo.
I think the story is him fighting the Chosen.
Whoa. You think the
Chosen's a
Chosen
giant?
was a giant?
I
Well,
guess
there's
Abe's,
another
like,
story of
true
a
form.
giant fighting the Eternal Challenger.
There
Like-
is. What is happening? Why do
Wow.
I'm the one that should
so,
know these things.
You know what? I am
going
so
on?
surprised that so much has gotten by you guys.
This story,
Well,
this dude, this
well,
really
not
is
Adam.
cool as shit.
When was the other story, Adam? Why do I
full
not have this in my
amalgam.
Remember
brain
the
document?
Heroes Fest?
At Heroes
Yeah, it
Fest,
was early
yeah.
on.
Story of the Dwarven Queen.
Oh my
who-
god.
Fucking shit. I need to write some of this down for later.
I'm now
'cause
malding.
Why do I not... Okay, my notes are a mess. My 10-page document sucks.
This after party is ruined.
Definitely
Call a
didn't go
break,
the
we
way
gotta
that
write
I thought it
notes.
was gonna go.
Quick 15-minute break for me to just add in my notes because they are in ruins, apparently.
She
Well,
has to
that
take an axe to her
explains-
notes.
Alden.
That explains why you kept asking me about, like, where's Pendrak? I'm like, why are you still after him? You have the pieces you need.
Maybe I didn't know, okay?
Apparently
Look, there's
not.
a lot of lore that I'm pretty good at keeping in my brain, but I got certain things just like, I don't know.
I'm the
There's
opposite.
a lot going on
I-
here.
I'm super bad at keeping lore in my brain, but I just happen to remember little pieces here and there. Things I'm like, did this happen? I don't know.
Well,
Proved pretty
Great.
integral this time around, Ryan.
Together we make a fine team.
All of our one brain cells put together.
I genuinely feel so rattled right now that like something like slipped through my fingers on this. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Makes me feel good.
Cool.
What a fun start to this after party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
truly,
oh boy.
I thought this little section about Vermin we would just blitz right over because I was like, we're just kind of, it's fine. It's not.
I was surprised
super
when you
important.
started.
We
I
don't
was like,
blitz through anything, okay?
No, the script.
That's true.
No.
I'm rattled. Okay. So, yeah, Vermin takes items from myself, Drac and Gideon to put his runes on overnight. So we have those. I don't know if they really came into play that much, but still pretty cool regardless. He also
We did.
Did they? Did anyone actually use theirs? I don't think.
I used mine to save you from 2 death saves in the middle of the fight.
Right, that's what it
Because
was.
you got hit the first time and it halved the damage, which took you down to like low HP, and then the second hit was the one that took you down.
That's okay. I knew that there was something that I had used my reaction on that I was like keeping a counter for it on like a piece of paper, and I couldn't remember what it was. And it was that I activated my Storm Giant rune and then immediately went down and then left. So I didn't actually get to use it at all. So yeah. And then Ryan, you didn't really get to use yours, did you? Because yours is more of like the social one, wasn't
I
it?
got to use it for 1 insight check on Charity, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And I rolled really well on it. It was great.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you two got to use yours. That's really cool.
I didn't get to like make someone freeze in place and have a crazy dream, but you know, that's whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that's what mine was, or would have been, maybe, or was that yours? I don't even remember anymore. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Vermin also tells us that he has a lot of connections in the city, and he makes plans to set up a meeting between Philip Rowe and Gideon, which is very exciting. And then, as we leave the Prolium, Justicar Valoon approaches us with a letter for Elowin. Which was stressful. I don't know if you guys felt like we handled that well. I just felt like we were so awkward, just like,
You guys were
What?
so funny. I'm watching that back. Maybe if she travels with us, maybe we'll give it to her. Maybe.
Yeah, it was very
We
like,
don't know
someone with that name. We will take the letter.
it just didn't feel like right to like outright lie about it, because he clearly would have seen her in the fight, so it made no sense to be like, no, you're crazy. But I was like, was there a better way to do that? I really don't know. So, so stupid.
We are just the pinnacle of grace. Clearly.
You guys are so protective of each other, and I love it.
It was very
Yeah.
cute.
We were
Elwin
just
traveling with you? No!
What? Who?
I mean, who is that? Shut up. Ugh.
She's great, but no, we've never met her.
She sounds like a wonderful person. You shouldn't tell her that she's a child.
You two should totally chat, but like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, why? Because if you hurt her, I'd kill you, but I don't know her. Whatever. Yeah, and then the next day, we receive notice that we have a meeting with Charity that same evening, which was extremely exciting. And a little surprising. I'm trying to figure out, like, what do you guys think was the main, like, thing that, like, made her want to meet with us? Do you think it was Gideon? Probably. Or, like,
Didn't she not know who Gideon was at all, though? Like, she couldn't remember ever interacting with him?
is that true? I guess, like, she didn't remember, like, when he brought up the dream of their meeting.
Yeah, I think you're right, Adam.
But didn't we mention, like, not only Gideon, but, like, the Balesville incident when we booked our meeting? Or
We
whatever,
also
yeah.
talked about the druid stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Oh,
mentioned
We
True.
got there. I think. Oh no, probably what spawned the meeting was the Chandier Tarset passing the info up the chain,
Yeah,
being like,
read
"Oh,
his
this actually
report."
looks very important, and Charity should probably see this."
I would not, that would not be where my assumption would lie.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think
like,
Tarset gave a
I
shit.
don't even know if she ever would have looked at that information.
Well, based on the apology that happened later, I'd
I
say
think
that
she
did.
totally would have.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I
She
kind of
came
put that
around.
to be that maybe that, like, Charity then told her to look at it.
All it
Perhaps,
took was us
but-
blowing up a building, all right?
That's
Then
pretty
she was like,
generous.
That
ah,
happened
okay.
after. That happened after,
I
though.
see what's going on.
Yeah, that did
Exactly.
happen after Gideon. Gideon? Ryan. You're Ryan. Sorry.
Well, I'm saying the apology happened after.
Oh yeah, yeah. yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't get
know.
on these
It's
ones.
like
bad
Charity
sides.
has prescience. She knew
Yeah.
a building was going to blow up and we were going to be there. She was
No,
like,
the
I need to
apology
talk to
happened.
these people beforehand.
The apology happened after the building went up because, you know, maybe we'll blow up your building, Tarset. You know what I'm saying?
That's how we want to be known, for sure.
Yeah,
You didn't want to let me see Charity? Uh-oh.
Blow up the school.
We have left 2 cities with a burning building behind
I
us.
know. Yeah, I
Time
was.
to make it 3.
Not our fault.
This is skipping ahead quite a bit, but during the trial with the elected circle, I was like, they were kind of remembering us, and I'm like, I really hope they're not remembering
don't remember.
that, like, the way that, like, yes, like, we did, like, help things in Valenbridge and the fire wasn't our fault, but it would look extremely suspicious if those were the dots that were connected, like, and
You guys just going from city to city, leaving buildings on fire?
yeah.
I mean,
So that-
not intentionally, but
Like, you're not
kinda.
wrong. Yeah.
Jonathan's almost made me do a spit take there in chat.
Burning buildings are our calling card.
We are
Yeah.
serial arsonists.
You know,
Unfortunate.
that's why we have the Seeker's Flame, that little blue flame that's never ever going to disappear outside the city that we left.
oh
there.
no, guys, this is our thing.
By the way,
forgot
if anybody
about that.
checked on that the following day after you got it, it's totally out.
Well, we did grab
Oh.
lanterns and put it in, so I would have known that.
And it's
but-
totally out, yeah.
Well,
No,
and
you're
yet,
wrong.
and yet
Very complex
Grobo
metaphor.
lives.
And yet Grobo lives. It's almost like there's a different duration for each magical effect.
Yikes.
Hmm.
Wow.
Grobo will die, you say.
Cool.
Even from the beans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One's from the beans and one's from me, though. That's right. They're not. Okay. Well,
It's
I
just
think
as
Grobo's
per the
gonna-
written.
I
Cool.
think Grobo's gonna sport his little crop top for a while, and then he's gonna just
Oh yeah.
and the crop top's gonna be all that's left.
I fully forgot about that entire sequence, to be
I
honest.
also did 100%.
Yeah, y'all really let the
Amazing.
chaos kick in there, baby. It's the 80s now.
Should
Honestly,
we
I
jump
think
back
we're-
in time?
Yeah. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves because that is a really funny thing. We'll get to that.
All right.
But yes. So we blah blah blah. Yes, we spend the day in the city before meeting up with Charity. Abe, Azaria, and Gideon go back to Eckhart. I think Gideon, you were picking up your gun, or I don't remember.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Azaria and Abe are commissioning stuff. Adam, do you want to talk a little bit about the genesis of your rocket axe and just like, did it come to you in a dream, or like what inspired that?
I played a lot of Reinhardt in Overwatch, and he has a big rocket hammer. And in the game Vermintide 2, one of the characters has a steam-powered two-handed axe. And I really like that. So I was like, well, we're in a fantasy universe. And
Live
I
your
got
dreams.
some money to burn.
Amazing. Did it catch you off guard at all, Denny? Or were you like prepared to make this a
I
reality?
just knew. He took
I
one
mean-
look at me and was like, that guy's going to want a steam-powered two-handed axe.
No, I mean, like, I was down for whatever. It's like I kind of counter to what Adam just said. No, I did not look at Adam and go, man, that man's gonna want a steam-powered axe.
What?
But like
That
he
was the
pitched
vibe I
it.
gave off.
You got to totally rework that image you got because it wasn't first impression. But I mean, the moment he pitched it, I was like, shit, that's really fun. He hasn't gotten it yet, so hopefully he'll enjoy it when it is finished and ready to pick up. And I mean, when it comes to all these magic items and stuff, it's like such a weird thing to try and balance, you know, because it's like I don't want to give you guys too many powerful things. It's like, and we're also I'm using these like background PDFs of like appropriate costs for certain things, you know, like in base game, like something that's uncommon would be like 500 gold at most, but now like I'm charging you guys like up to like between 1,000 and 3,000 because their effects are really good. And now I have to play much more into the economy of this and be like, how much would this be worth? Is it too much? How do I balance this? So there's a lot of, I can see certain items that the game has already made and I can gauge that. But homebrew things like this, it's like, we'll take the chance, we'll see what happens, and we'll balance as we go.
How much did you end up charging for the
In the
rocket?
end, he paid 850 gold pieces, I believe.
It's pretty good.
And that was to also convert it into a great axe as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and Adam, I'll give you a little tidbit, because the axe head that you had was magical, but it was built for a battle axe. So Eckhart had to like artificially make it a bit bigger. So there is like, if you meet somebody's AC with this, the attack won't be considered magical. You have to get higher than their AC to consider it a magical attack.
Interesting. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that was kind of like my drawback, my trade-off to give you that greater weapon,
Right.
and also have it be still magical.
That's a really
Cool.
good way to balance that, Teni. Well
Yeah.
done.
That is really cool. I'm stealing that.
Love it. I wish I had a brain for like that side of like crunchy D&D stuff, because I just don't. When you're talking about like the economy of stuff, I was like, yikes.
I mean, I spend too much time in certain areas that I shouldn't. Like, I'm a great mechanical brain. I wish I had more focus on the story elements. I'm glad you guys are having fun, and I'm glad you guys are thinking this is a great story, but I always wish that I could focus more on it.
Well,
My guy
Smell
feels
that?
plenty focused.
yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know what you're talking
crap
about.
there.
So I'm gonna just
It's
humbly
just-
request that you shut your mouth.
It's
because
just
you're-
DM insecurity. Don't worry about it.
You're
Fair.
doing a great job, bud.
Yeah, well, I would disagree with your insecurity. So take that.
Carry
I
on.
do too.
Boom.
These
I'll
aren't
beat up
valid.
your insecurity. Don't worry, Teni.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna move on from that. Well, you guys are picking up weapons. Jack and I go to the temple district to meet with Nivera for no reason at all. Moving on. And then
So casual.
so
casual.
casual, so casual. It's like not even important to talk about. So then we go
Wow.
over to the Archmage.
Glazed over that with Bach speed.
What? Yeah, I didn't write a question for myself for this one, so we can just move on.
Buck speed.
I'll ask you a question about this,
Why?
just to be casual about it. You
So
know,
casual, yeah.
Keep it casual. How is Nell feeling about this budding relationship with Nivara?
It's so one-sided. Like, I'm
I didn't
imagining.
know that.
Maybe.
No.
Well, I think maybe that's how Nell is thinking about it. She feels terrified. Because the way I'm playing it is that like Nell's never like dated anyone or had like any like romantic interest in anyone in the village. It's always been like, you know, maybe she'd read about it in a story or something and be like, oh, that'd be nice one day, but like hasn't really pursued it. So she's like, oh, this person's really like sweet and like seems cool. What's going on? And so feels extremely terrified and scared. Like I think I was telling you, Anthony, that there's a good chance that I might just like run away from her next episode. I have a really funny plan in my head, so we'll see what happens next episode. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. Cool. So then we go to the Archmage's tower.
I still can't get over the fact that's freaking box speed.
Adam, do you want to talk about Bach
The
speed
origins
briefly?
of our Lord and Savior.
Box
Speedus.
I don't know if we've talked about this. This was kind of an inside joke from a home campaign that Adam DM'd for a few of us back in the day.
Yeah. Our friend Jason had a horse. I don't know if he named it, but basically they had to get somewhere very fast. And Jason, I had them rolling, you know, animal handling checks to make sure that they could keep the fast pace, keep pushing their animals. And Jason just kept rolling really high. Like, and he was a rogue, I think. So I don't know if he had expertise, but, you know, he had a big bonus, all that kind of stuff.
I think he was a wild magic sorcerer.
Was he?
Yeah, tiefling.
I thought he was a human rogue.
Oh, okay. We were still evil at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the horse transferred parties? Oh no.
Wow. That's the most normal part of it. Basically, he just kept rolling very high, and it got to a point where I was like, this horse just sort of opens a hole in reality and just takes you to another place. And it seems like the horse has aged about 20 years, but you're there. And then it kept happening, and there was a point where he went forward in time briefly, and then backwards in time, and then this magical transdimensional teleporting horse, who became known as Bach Speed.
And
And then he became a god in a different universe.
And in honor of that, I created Equin Bach, and the saying Bach Speed, or may you travel with Bach Speed, is kind of an homage to that horse. And so Equin Bach is the deity of farmers, travel, and horses.
I love it. What the fuck was it that we kept saying in the temple?
I think we just kept saying box speed to
Was
people.
it just
Yeah. We were just like box speed.
May you go with Bach Speed. Bach Speed.
Even I love how Navar. Oh no, is it Navar 1-3? Is that her first name?
Nivara.
Nivara. Okay, I love how Nivara even was like Bach Speed.
Like she's in on the joke.
Yeah.
I love it. I did fully have to like phonetically write her name at the top of my notes, just like under like personal things, just so I don't say it wrong again, because that's not the way to make a good impression.
I have pronunciations written out for a number of these characters.
I should probably do that for other ones. I just try and like guess my way through it and then get really awkward halfway through. It's like, what? Yeah, I did make a really important note after that scene that her favorite pastry is a Danish. So I have that highlighted in my notes. Like, just gotta remember these little things.
For no reason.
No, Tronimus, I didn't surround her name with hearts because a grown woman. Nell might have. That's Nell's business, so I haven't really looked into that. So, anyways, moving on to, for real this time, to the Archmage's Tower for our meeting. Before we jump into our conversation with Charity, Teni, I would love for you to talk a little bit about how you designed this super cool tower, because like the visual of it was really neat. I just love that whole experience of like going through it was like the waterfall and everything. It was very neat.
Well, and this is one of those kind of mechanical things that, like, you think of like, well, they need to have this, they need to have some security. They need to have like, what is a wizard gonna want? And it was like kind of answering those things, and then like architecturally building the tower with those things in mind, and then just making it work and making it magic flavorful. So like, I knew with the two Arcanet districts, like at opposite ends of the city, I was like, well, students are going to be able to access both of those districts via these teleportation towers. That's a perk of the university. I was like, Charity, as the person in charge of this, she'll just be able to do that within her own tower. So there's those two sets of stairs that, depending on which one you go down, you'll exit either the tower in the one district or the tower in the other district. I was like, that's something. Of course, anybody going into a meeting with her, we need to, figure out, are they carrying anything magical on them? Because security and whatnot. So that was what that round room was, with all the falling water. And like the water washed over you and revealed any magical items on your persons. And the wait time was kind of determining what those magical items were. And then allowing you guys to step into the office, which was an extra dimensional space, which, certain magical items might have had certain effects going into that. Though Charity, being like the grand wizard of the Ascendancy, probably had some sort of safeguards in place, even if something did come in. And then back when I introduced her in this campaign, in Gideon's memory, I was like, I want her to give her a magical item. So I gave her a robe of stars. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of star and moon motifs in this campaign, so I'm going to keep playing that up. So, make her ceiling just goes into the night sky. There's constellations. She's got that robe, and she can observe the city through both towers through those windows behind her. I was just like, how can we keep making this really cool? What would I want if I was a wizard? And in a way, I kind of view Charity as my kind of insert within this setting. So it's, pretty easy for me to relate to her, I guess.
That makes a lot of sense that she's your insert. That's so sweet as well. was gonna say, it makes a lot of sense also because she's the best NPC. So
Well,
So
she
just wait
was
until she fucks us over.
she's not going to. Dallas, fuck.
she was a remnant from the previous campaign, which was also filled with hostility and intrigue. And I wanted to include an NPC who was like, this person is totally on the party's side. You know, they're going to be supportive. They're going to be caring. And I keep that going through. But, you know, I don't want, you know, anything concrete. Like, who knows? Maybe something could change.
Like if we stab her in the back.
Stop. Everyone seems so
Or
mean. She's
if
so
Teni
nice.
kills Charity.
Okay, everyone, you gotta cool it with this shit. I'm gonna be so upset if anything happens to her.
I
She's
will
so
also
nice.
be upset, but you know what?
Also, Tronimus made me just laugh so hard because he said that that's slander against the sad halfling child. Which fair. They are also a very good character. Cool. Do you draw like anywhere like inspiration for anything specific when you come up with kind of like these fantasy like places and like architectural elements and things like that? Just out of curiosity.
I might go onto like Pinterest and like look up ideas and like kind of become inspired. But then that's kind of the important part, you know, to just be inspired and to take ideas like away from the original source, so you're not just like, you know, ripping things. Yeah, I mean, having pictures really helps me to further my own ideas.
Makes sense. Yeah, gangs, we finally actually got to meet Charity, who was wonderful, Dallas. Sorry you weren't there and that you're bitter about it, but just kidding. Out of curiosity, how did she live up to everyone's expectations of her? And for the folks that got to interact with her in the first campaign, what was that like? Or did anything stand out? Or did you even interact with her that much? Or was she just kind of like a kind of figure that was around?
She and my character were best friends. So
Really? Oh my God, that's so cute.
So it was pretty spot on through line of how she was acting, Dallas. So yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense now that she like knew who Naivara was right away. Oh my God, is she like godmother to Naivara? That'd be so cute. Teni.
That would probably be something I'd have to ask Adam later.
I would love that. I don't know, little details like that would be so cute. Anyway, it's fine.
I didn't get to interact too much with Charity in the first campaign. I had another NPC that had the name Charity, which had a little storyline. I don't know, maybe more on that later. I don't know if that'll be a thing that happens in this game or not.
Might be
Sorry, what?
capital S spoiler.
You had a secret character named Charity, is what you said?
No, I interacted very briefly with a character named Charity who was not Charity, so I don't know.
Oh, because of the whole doppelganger thing?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't recall actually talking to Charity in that meeting. I think I talked to her like a little bit, right? Just about like the peaks.
You did. I can hop to that section that I have written down for you.
I was going to say,
I kind of broke it up based on conversation topic.
Yeah, because I think you were the one that spawned like her telling this like story about the Rinzar Peaks, like a legend about that area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we do talk to Charity about like everything we know about the Druids and the fact that we know that we need to head to the Rinzar Peaks next. In that she reaffirms what knowledge and kind of like speculation that we have so far about void energy and the origin of these void creatures. And then yeah, she does tell us a story, kind of like a mythos about the constant blizzards that surround the Rinzar Peaks. I don't know if you remember this story at all, Anthony. Do you want me to kind of like, I can go back my notes quickly and...
Yeah, I should have had my notes out for this. That would have been smart.
All right, let me grab it. So basically, I put in brackets someone because I couldn't remember who the main name of the... I didn't get it in time, who the name person was that was this story was about. Teni? You could tell me. Someone
Are
had
you,
a
talking
castle.
about, are you talking about the Rinzar Peaks? I
Yeah,
remember it was
someone had a castle in the Rinzar Peaks.
I don't
don't
remember
know
off
if
the top of my head either.
I don't believe we actually got a name, but it was
I
a
don't-
military leader who had
A
a
military
fortress in the
leader.
mountains.
Cool.
And the story was like,
Yeah, so I
Uh,
had the rest of the story. I just never got the name of the person.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it was spoken in vagarities. Like there was no
Gotcha.
concrete
Okay.
names.
I have the story up now.
I also do, but if you want to read it, you can go nuts.
Okay. So there was a fortress and a powerful commander. He had a family. War broke out, and he went off to war. Right? And then the wife had died before then, right?
What I have is that the general and his adult children went off to fight. The wife had passed away years earlier, but there was a certain maid that the general had kind of like had this affair, not quite affair, but like this like thing with. And he tried to hide it from his children because the theory is that he felt like he was betraying his previous wife. So he had a secret room built in the castle where he and the maid would meet up to hang out. And then when he left, she waited in the room for her or for him. And the general had someone else like going up to check on her and like give her food and stuff. But that person who was checking in on her died from an illness, right? And so then the general returned, and he'd also lost some of his children in the war. But when he realized like the person who was supposed to be checking in had died, he was like, oh, and like ran to the room. And when he opened the door, the castle went dark, and the anguished spirit of the maid blamed him for her death and froze the area surrounding the castle. She ripped the castle from its foundations and into the sky, causing a blizzard beneath it forevermore, making it so that he could never again go to war. Ooh, that rhymed.
Castle in the sky, eh? Eh?
So my question for you, Anthony and Drac,
Yeah.
is, was that like a new story to Drac? Or like if it is, like do your people have like their own story or mythos around the blizzard, or
God, I should have had all my notes open for this today. That would have been a good idea. So that was new information to Drac. That's not something that he knew about before. And I don't think that Teni and I came up with a story about that.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. I think we just. Yeah, I'm not gonna come up with a reason right now. Maybe I'll think on it and see like what comes to mind, but what his Drax people may believe causes this endless blizzard. But yeah.
but how did hearing that story then, like, how did it resonate with Drac? Like, was it?
It kind of. I think it almost doesn't surprise him because he's learned so many new things about the world and even about how the world sees or doesn't see his people, that at this point anything else that comes up, unless it's like truly earth-shattering for him, is just like another, okay, so this is how these people see us. Cool. Situation.
Can I just like take a second to say that story is so fucking awesome? Like that is, it gives me like major like old folklore vibes, just super tragic folk tale.
Mm-hmm.
I should put forward as well that is loosely based off of a real folk tale. Loosely.
Well, that's super neat. I love that.
From a specific culture, or just like a?
Oh gosh, it's one of the dominant European ones. I don't remember which. It was a story I'd heard once and I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, a lot of like the European ones I find are like super dark. Like they're just, I don't, something always kind of like gets like fucked up at the end. So
What was cool to hear though was when Charity said that metallic dragonborn are theoretically formed near Ley Lakes.
yes, I was
Now,
gonna
that
ask
was
you.
cool information, and that's something that I think Drac is like, whoa, okay, connection made, interesting.
So then it makes me wonder, like, are there any other metallic dragonborns that aren't from your people that maybe you actually get to like run into because they were formed, or not formed, but like they grew up near another Ley Lake?
You've met one.
Well,
We did?
you had the option to pour Argon Veludium on him.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
That guy.
That guy. Who's still hopefully alive?
Probably not.
Oh, true. That whole place went up in flames.
The whole
Okay.
place
No one
went
else
up in
knew that they were
flames.
down there. I would be shook if like they somehow made it out. So,
Then he takes big sip energy right there. Okay, cool. But to add to that, the Drax people migrated to the Ringzar Peaks. They weren't established there at the dawn of time. So conceivably there where they came from, there's probably another Ley Lake.
Does
Which
Where
Drac?
are you from? Do you know?
Yeah,
Yes, I do know.
and also
Tell
does
me.
Drac know that when they did migrate over that they already were metallic?
They were already metallic, right, Teni?
I don't know if I ever had a solid answer to that, so I'm going to leave that in your hands.
Okay.
Let you do some world building on that.
Why don't you do some work, Anthony?
Yeah. God damn it, Anthony.
The Drax people came from the Dragonfire Wastes and met up with, I think we said the Dragonborn were from the Dragonfire Wastes, the Lizard folk came from the Wilderglen wetlands, they converged and then ran into the kobolds along the way and continued on.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So if you look at the map of Eastern Sicramund, there's a couple lakes in that area.
Hey,
Are
wait.
Ley Lakes actually lakes? Like with water?
They can be.
I think they can be. I don't think they necessarily have to be. I think 'cause it is just like a pooling. I think it's just convenient that potentially the one in the Rinzor Peaks might be at the Roane Springs, but I don't think it has to.
Which
Maybe correct me if I'm
yeah.
wrong, Nate. I don't think it has to be an actual lake. I think it's just a pooling of magic in a certain area.
That is correct.
Also, my tinfoil hat brain just went off. So your people went from the Dragonfire Waste. Wasn't there a whole thing that there's there's a Lumbrite connection to the Dragonfire Waste as well?
I believe so.
Interesting.
We thought we were going to talk about the episodes. This is actually the deep lore.
I actually
tinfoil
did
hat
think
stream.
about adding a little bit that's just like my tinfoil hat corner where I just talk about my theories of the week, but it really would depend on how much time we have because I don't want to talk forever. So
I'll just
Everyone's a
add one more
doppelganger.
drop of tinfoil to the pile here. The Roane Springs in Draconic are literally translated as root of life, so I will just leave that in your heads.
Just gonna write that down quickly. Great. Okay.
That's fine.
Can I have anything else?
It probably means nothing.
Probably.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it means me something.
Oh my god, where's the section that was about Draco? There we go. Cool. I think that was everything that you and Charity spoke about.
I believe so.
So the other thing, Ryan, you spoke with Charity about quite a bit actually. So we're gonna go down, and then I have 10 questions for you. So,
Okay.
so you talked about the dream that you had about your initial meeting with Charity, which she had no recollection of.
Yep.
You talked with her about the incident itself, and Charity confirmed that something has happened to the people's memories that were associated with the incident. She herself tried to have her own memories restored, but I don't know if it was pain, but the experience was so bad that she felt like she was going to die from it, which tells us that clearly whatever is causing this or whoever is extremely powerful. If even she was having difficulty getting rid of it. You mentioned Elia Hume being the diadect of Balesville. Charity shows us that her name has been scratched out of the records, but she is able to confirm that Elia is now going as Patience, which we suspected. And also that Elia did try to reach out to Charity, and Charity didn't know who she was, and so she can tell that she might have been someone important to her, but she doesn't have the memory of her. So has Gideon processed everything that Charity was kind of able to confirm suspicion-wise around Balesville?
No, not even close. He's he is struggling, but he's okay for now. The fact that nobody perished helped with that. But yeah, he is still very much so in the stage of processing all of that. Because there are memories that are coming back to him and stuff like that, and I'm sort of being inspired as we play, and like sort of messaging Denny privately, being like, "Hey, this could be a memory of something that comes back, and have fun and do what you will." So it's just one of those things where I'm just excited as to what we're going to learn, but I'm also terrified because the things that I've sent Denny are there's a lot of potential for not good. So it's just very, very exciting. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little freaked out as to what's gonna happen because I just had like a thought like literally just now, and I'm like, I don't know if I don't know how I feel about it, and it's a bit freaky. If you want me to splurge, I will. But
I mean, it's up to you if you feel like that'd be more fun as a character reveal, but I'm always down for dirt. So
it's a little theory, so I'm gonna put my little tinfoil hat on. So basically, I think Gideon has had his memory wiped more than once.
I like that.
And I think that maybe because he did look for his family, but never found them, even though they were in Balesville, I was like, what's that about? Like, he would have found them.
Or
right?
So you did find them. And
maybe he did, and then just
it was removed.
His brain has been fucked with, I don't even know how many times. So it's just like, it's a mess.
Ryan, my other question was like, now that we know that Eliakim is Patience, like, what do you think she wants with you? But also, like, what if she's one of the people removing memories? So she's been like, keeping tabs on you to make sure, like, if anything comes back, she like wipes you again.
Maybe. I don't know. Could be bad. But it's just so much potential for not good. Yeah, big sip energy right there from Denny.
It's like, what if that's why one of the reasons she's reaching out to Charity, just like to double check that like her thing is still holding. And when Charity didn't remember her, she was like, okay, great, bye.
Yeah, and we also learned, so the memory loss is like super widespread. Like, it's not just in Balesville, but it's just like Balesville was like the epicenter of whatever happened, but it's just like,
so someone has been traveling around, like making sure that anyone who could like potentially parse what happened, it's like being removed and scratched from records and potentially fake records being put in. Also, a question on that, like, do you feel, or does Gideon feel reassured at all that like his own lack of memories is not like something specific just to him, but something that even the strongest magic user in Sacrament couldn't even overcome?
No. In fact, the fact that he is remembering things terrifies him. Because if that means like he's probably the only one who might have the key to figuring out the event, but he also realizes that he's not the smartest person. So he's like he's pretty smart. He's no idiot, but he's just surrounded by intelligent people who could all have their memories wiped if that's the case. And it's just like, what do I do?
I don't want my memory to be wiped. We have so many things going on. We're all worthy, and we're all gonna get our memories wiped now. Thanks a lot, you guys.
I've just
we get our
decided
memories
to start...
wiped and forget that we're worthy. Are we still worthy?
Oh, we're definitely still worthy.
I don't think it's our own judgment that makes us.
Yeah. But
worthy.
Anyways, Denny, for that suggestion, Gideon's memory having been wiped numerous times, have fun. Yeah, you've got a big 9-year period to work with, I believe. Yeah, 9 years. Yeah. So
that's too much freedom to give down. I'm scared.
Oh, I love giving my dungeon master freedom to make me sad.
Oh, I mean, same. I think that's I can't speak for everyone, but that's definitely one of the reasons I play.
Y'all ready for another Balesville arc? I'm not.
I have no clue what it's gonna
sad,
happen.
baby.
I am excited though.
Oh yeah.
And then my final question for you for this is, now that you've had this like conversation with Charity, has it affected what you want to talk to Hillip about, of curiosity?
Yep. I'm gonna be like, I may ask Hillip one question about the event. Like, that's it. Like, I am not going to pry. I'm not going to dig deep. If Hillip gives me a hint of like hard no, that's it. Like, I think that it's just I don't know who is in on it, you know, and that's the thing. Because if I go around saying to everybody like, "Hey, I'm remembering things," someone might be like, "Stop that right now!" Hey, Shen Kurai, you know,
Someone like Patience.
maybe perhaps. So yeah, perfect use of the gid emote, Teni, precisely.
With modify memory, you can also plant memories, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
What if Patience doesn't necessarily even know her own full connection to Balesville, or the fact that she herself is Eliahum, and there's been kind of like planted new memory and put on this mission by someone who's the puppet master?
Oh, fuck. Dude, I love this story so much. I don't even know, man. We're so screwed.
My cat is having an asthma attack. I just sent Anthony to deal with that. Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's so confusing. I made Anthony leave, so I can't ask him now, but if anyone has detect thoughts in our party, because it'd be really interesting to like have someone be able to like have that up potentially, although it might also be a bad thing if they have any sort of like way of telling that magic is currently active.
I feel like I'm afraid of that all the time in this campaign, where I'm just like, especially when we're in these big magical cities, I'm like, I don't know if I can actually cast magic subtly at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a sorcerer ability. That's the really cool thing about sorcerers.
Yes,
you can just hide all of that.
That actually might be a good thing for me to take, because
Yeah.
I'm switching out my careful spell because I don't use it, and it doesn't protect you guys against my potential accidental fireballs. So I hadn't decided yet what I was going to take. Maybe I forgot about subtle spell. Maybe I'll take subtle spell because that'd be really helpful.
So cool. You can't be counterspelled. You can't be counterspelled if you do that, because there's no way to tell that you're casting a spell.
Well, it would have to be. I can't do it for every single. It like costs sorcery points to do. And I only have
That's
4.
right. Yeah, but like, if you want to
but if
spell
it's like
to
a really
work,
important one, yeah. Good
just
to
settle
know.
it.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Ryan, for reminding me that existed. Because
I made a whole video on this spell or this meta magic.
amazing. Okay. Hey Dallas. Just wanted to I wanted to include you a little bit. If you were able to attend this conversation with Charity, was there anything in particular that Elwyn would have wanted to speak to her about? Like, I know Elwyn's not the most trusting of people in authority positions, but do you think
Or just in general, I don't think
Or
the
in general,
authority
yeah.
has anything to do with it.
Yeah, but is there anything you think you would have brought up with her?
I would actually at some point still, if we run into her again, like to ask her about the wish spell that I was talking to Wilela about. Curious, you know? Maybe a good high-level wizard friend is not a bad person to have around. If anyone in this world knows anything about it, I think it might be her. If I ever get the chance, I might ask.
Can you remind me, is it Wilela wants a wish spell? Is that...
No.
Or...
So I guess, and I didn't use the words in the game. Teni and I talked about this outside of this, where wish is a spell that isn't really known. But I talked to Wilela about the rumor of a spell that could create miracles. And she was like, oh, it sure does exist. And I was like, nifty. And that was as far as we ever got with that. But I thought maybe cool. Charity might know something.
I actually really like that as a premise, that like wish isn't very common here, because that feels a lot less like world breaking.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing of legend. Like there are these, feats that have been performed in the years that have been memorialized in story where it's like, well, how the hell did that happen? There has to be something.
Interesting.
Question for you, Teni. Has Wish ever been cast in the campaign that you've run?
Never.
I'll do it. Give it to me. I'll break that seal.
Dallas, do you think, like, this is a genuinely curious question. Do you think you're ready to deal with, like, the potential monkey's paw of it? Like, the really specific wording that you need to make sure?
My life is a monkey's paw. Why not? Why not another one? It's all good. This feels less bad than the other option.
Well, you don't know that for sure, though, until you do it. So.
I suppose not. I don't know. I don't know what my plan is.
Amazing.
There's also divine intervention when your boy hits level 10.
Yeah, just roll that shit constantly and maybe within like months.
Well,
Jack,
for
can
you,
I
it'd
get
be
my
level
daily dose
12.
of maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be level 12.
Jack. If you just power level cleric, that is.
Yeah, it'd be level 12 for you.
Sorry, I meant level 10 in cleric.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. So we also talked to Charity about the whole Midnight Sun thing and Kardrak Mithracote. And she confirms a lot of that stuff for us, which is really good. So she confirms that the note that we got after the railway battle was written by Kardrak, and mentions that when they ruled together in Starshire that they had some issues. Like, I don't think she was like the biggest fan of him. He might, like, I didn't really get this part. Like, so he sealed off like a crypt or something that had, or he sealed like the crystal away or something. What
In
was
a
it,
way.
Teni?
So,
Yeah.
Starshire was built in a cavern that also housed this city, which we now know belonged or was a part of the plane that the Alumbrites occupied. After this division in Starshire, where half the population went to go reclaim the surface and the other half remained with Kardrak, they basically sealed off the only path into that cavern with Starshire and that Alumbrite city. And thus also the crystal that formerly housed all these souls that created the Starborn.
Cool. So yeah, so she said that he from that might have some access to Argon Veludium, but isn't really sure how much, which I don't love. I'd love to be reassured about that. She also doesn't know how Kardrak would have cast illusion magic, because when she knew him, he was a paladin. So we don't know the full range of his abilities, if it's just someone he's working with, because it could be that Sarze casted something on him, or it's just not him, we don't know. And that May the Midnight Sun Rise was a line from a prayer in the religion that Kardrak created, because he made a god out of the crystal, essentially. Which, did you guys in the other campaign know that this whole time? Or was that not really, like, brought up?
I did not.
Okay.
I can't remember. I know that like there was a religious part of the city, and the gods, the previous gods, had kind of been seen as abandoning people. But we never really explored the specifics of what people in Starshire believed, I don't think.
Gotcha.
I wasn't in the campaign the whole time. I was kind of like that supporting character that comes in at like season 3, and then they stick around until the end. You know, they kind of pop in here and they're the first like season they're in, and then they just stick around for the last like 2 seasons. That was my character.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if we really gained like a whole lot of new information about Kardrak from Charity, just kind of more confirmation of what we might have already kind of sussed. So I don't know if we're any further to knowing what Kardrak is trying to accomplish. Does anyone feel like we are? No.
All we know is he kind of was a dick.
And probably still is.
Yeah.
If that's still him.
Yeah.
Which I guess
Don't we know he's dead?
I mean,
Do we know
as
that?
players
And
do.
we as humans know. Do we as characters know that?
No,
Did she
I
not
don't
tell
think
us
so.
that? No. Okay.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Someday
I
we'll
think
figure
you
this out.
guys discussed like he should probably be dead.
Right.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah.
It's common knowledge amongst like the citizens of Sycamund that he is no longer alive. Out of curiosity, I guess we haven't.
You'd have to ask.
All right.
Made a float about him. Usually that's reserved for dead people, but
Yeah. A float at Heroes Festival is usually a good sign that you kicked the bucket.
Also really curious, like that kind of concept of like how like a historical narrative can like twist over like the span of time, because like Charity probably, I'm gonna guess, maybe wasn't alone in like having her doubts and like issues with Thardrak, like whereas like obviously some of the population like was following him during that time. So it's cool that like the prevailing like concept of him was that he was this like great war hero, but obviously that's not the entire truth. So it's just interesting to me. And we're gonna blow that shit wide open, so fucking watch it.
Eventually, yeah.
In like 10 years, our time. It'll be like 2 weeks. Cool.
buckle up.
So, okay, yeah. So having this kind of big conversation with Charity where she validated a lot of the information on like all of these different topics that we've been collecting so far, and also having someone so powerful like kind of on our side has made myself and Nell feel a lot better. Like obviously there's still so many unknowns, but we're not alone in not knowing, which is good, I guess. And at least we have someone who could support us if things go totally fuck wild. How is the rest of the party feeling at this point, given like everything that we have to do still and figure out?
So much.
Good. Everyone's just like,
So good.
yeah.
I feel good about it. I think Charity is going to be a very good ally to have moving forward.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
She showed up
agree as
for
well.
us at that hearing too, just in case things went south. So
Yeah.
if anything was going to be a vote of confidence for us as to her intentions and her ability to kind of be an ally to us, I think that is a pretty clear indication that she's got our back somewhat.
Yeah, it's definitely like comforting in a way, because I don't know, there's something about feeling like you yourself are an unknown that has all of this like world-changing information. You're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, no one's gonna believe me. So at least we have someone who could like, who would be taken more seriously if they were to speak on these subjects once we have more information for her. I really like having that in our corner. Now I'm terrified she's gonna get fucking assassinated. it's like too good to be true. Teni, don't kill her. I love her. I just made myself really scared. I don't want to end this Bromar arc with her dying, please.
No.
Let's know.
Please. Also, was there anything anyone was hoping like to get more from her, or is everyone feeling like pretty like satisfied with what we accomplished there?
I mean, for my sort of situation, I was hoping to get something from her, but then I got something entirely different from her. You know what I mean? Like I was hoping to get some answers, maybe a direction that was like, okay, so this is a place we can look, and it was like, oh no, like oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I am now understanding the scope of this. This is really bad. It's good though, because it's like, okay, so
It's more answers at least.
it's more answers. Like it's now probable that, like, for example, like Gideon was suspicious of Merimus before. Merimus is probably in the same boat. Probably got his mind screwed around with.
Is what Nell has been freaking saying to you.
I know.
Oh, Ryan, how do you feel about the fact that Patience blocked my message to her?
Unfriended, and
I just got blocked on Twitter by Patience.
I don't. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that, because I feel like being the person who played the character who raised Elia Hume in the previous campaign, Elia Hume was raised by a wonderful mother and a father who basically taught her his skills of investigation and like sort of how to keep an eye out and how to look out for oneself and whatnot. But he was also just a loving and caring guy when he was around, but he couldn't be around because his job was dangerous.
And he was also an assassin.
And he was
That
also an assassin
fucked her
for a
up.
time.
And
Yeah.
now she's evil.
Yeah, he went from assassin to investigator. It was so he had a bad time because he couldn't be around his family being an assassin, because the moment someone finds out who you are, it's like, oh, they're in danger now. So he had a happy ending where he could actually be with his family, which was good. But like, playing that character was like, if I know anything about Miles, and his wife Mary, if they raised Elia the way I think they did, Elia would be like all over this shit. Elia would be like, she'd be figuring this out because she was super gifted.
Well, we don't know that she's not, though. Like, maybe that's why she's taken a different name. And
That's
like,
the thing.
she-
It's like,
she-
I don't know. she could be super super into this, super like deep cover, and I wouldn't know because Miles could have taught her that. I don't know because he was an assassin for a time. He could have taught her how to be deep undercover, but
How old was she in the previous campaign?
oh, super young. Like she was like 8 during that campaign, but Miles lived several years after that campaign.
Right.
I don't even think she was that old. I think she was like 5.
Super young, yeah. Like very, very young. But Miles had a very long time to raise her after the campaign, away from all of the garbage. Because I think he died like 20 to 25 years after the game or something like that. Yeah. He died of his of a bad liver. Because he drank a lot because he was sad.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that was what killed him earlier than he normally probably would have lived, was his assassinating days. Karma, I suppose. But I don't know. I feel like Patience is either super deep undercover or completely brainwashed, and there is no in between. And that is why I'm terrified. Because it could be 100% of either extreme, and it's not even close to being in the middle. At least currently, that's my thought process.
Well, I'm really excited to figure this all out. I think it's gonna be a while still, but I'm super curious.
Yeah, Patience is hard to track. Thanks, Miles. You dick.
I mean, she's probably tracking you at this point, so she'll turn up when she
Yeah.
when she
She'll
deems
attack us
fit,
in the
so.
dark when we're all asleep.
Yeah, she knows precisely how to find people. Thanks,
Well, I
Miles.
took the alarm
dick.
spell.
So clutch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the alarm spell is very, very good.
Feels bad playing against your old character.
I think that's so fascinating. I can't wait. I've never been in like a consecutive campaign. It would be really cool.
It's so
Um,
good, Teni. It's so fucking cool, man. Just be
So-
like, it's so cool.
I
Uh,
have a question for Adam. Of course, you tagged along with this party as you guys went to go visit the Grand Arcanist of this republic. Did you go in there with any expectations, or were you just kind of like coming along and then suddenly in that meeting you were like, I wonder if I should ask something?
It was in my mind. Part of it, admittedly, was that we were pretty late in the session already, and it was getting pretty late in real time. So I was like, this could take a while. I don't know. Yeah, so I ended up asking if Abe seemed familiar at all. It's funny you saying, like, Christy saying, are you guys like happy with what you have? And I'm like, I don't know what I have yet. I have a journal. I don't know what's in it. Haven't gotten to open it up because the next 2 sessions happened. So
I completely forgot about that. I'm so excited that you have this journal, and like now it's like excited for you, but also infuriated that it's like this sweet piece of information I'm not allowed
Can't
to
tell
look
you.
at. And I'm like not gonna ask, obviously, because I don't want to betray that trust. But it's like, to know.
Foaming at the mouth in the corner. It's a
Oh,
book. There's stuff in it.
Cool. You got a book. It's neat. But
Yep.
it's fine. Oh my god, I'm so excited for you to like delve into that. Teni, do you have? You don't have to tell us, but do you have the kind of like an idea of what is in there?
Yeah, I do.
It's actually just 50 Shades of Grey.
Copy and pasted into a Google Doc.
Just the names are different. Charity and not Abe.
Control H is a really easy thing to use.
Cool. The last conversation, I believe, was myself and Charity, which was really fun. So I'm just gonna talk to myself for a little bit. So I talked to her about obviously time magic and like the thing that I cast on my family. And she was really helpful. Like she provided a lot of insight into like different like how different sources of magic might work. And the metaphor that you used here, Teni, was so beautiful. Like the difference between divine and wilder magic. Did you have that prepared or did you improvise it? Because if you improvised it, fuck you.
I mean, in some of my writings, I've described things certain ways, but for the most part, this conversation was improvised.
Cool. Well, I really liked that water metaphor. It was really pretty. And it was like such a great visualization as well to kind of like how two different things are how they work. Yeah. Charity gives me a scroll of dispel magic to use on my family, and then says just the rawest fucking shit in the world that haunted me like for hours afterwards, which is like, you need to charge into the battle that is you. I've gifted you the sword, go fight. And I was like, I wanted to end the session right there because I just wanted to sit and think for like a really long time.
I'm glad she told you that.
I know.
Mhm.
Nell definitely needed to hear it. And it was like, I think the best person that possibly could have said that to Nell, like at least the one that would like make Nell want to take like action on it. Like, so it's one of the things I think like she knew ultimately, but like didn't really want to do because it was so scary. So to have this like mecca of like wizardly power and be like, get your shit in order. It's like, yes, ma'am, I will. I won't disappoint you.
I don't know if any of us telling you the same thing would have had the same effect.
I think like eventually, especially like if this moment hadn't happened and you guys have been kind of like, if we were getting closer to Valen Bridge and you guys felt compelled to kind of like push me to stopping there, I think like over time it would have had the same effect. It just would have.
Barmhall?
Yep. What did I say? Valen
Yep.
Bridge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 12 E's. I just think it wouldn't have been like as immediate of like a you're right kind of thing. It would have taken a lot of convincing. But the fact that she's literally like, here's the thing you need, like you need to like do this now. And also like, it's great that you love to research, but research also involves like experimenting. So go. And I'm like, right. I'm like,
That was Denny telling you, stop looking for
I know.
books.
It was so funny. I was like, okay, I get it.
Charity's my insert.
I know. Honestly, yeah, it makes so much sense now too. I was like, fair. One interesting thing from this that I kind of wanted to touch on as well is that she talks a little bit about how that my ancestry is the source of my magic, and it seems like I have a dual nature in that regard, which I found extremely interesting because Denny has now dropped a few different little nuggets for me throughout that there might be some connection between my father and Reynard, which was not a direction I was expecting at all for this to go. Like, obviously he's from the Wilder, but I never really like would have assumed that had any connection. But so far you've said that, like, you've had Finn tell me that our dad would call him Reynard if he was being like mischievous. I've noticed that one of my dragon chess pieces was kind of like carved to be a fox, and now like what Charity said about my ancestry. It's just giving me a lot to think about. I also am trying to remember if my dad is even like super magical.
No wonder you missed the Otez clues.
Why?
Too
What do you
busy
mean?
focused on these crazy fox theories.
What do you mean? They're
I'm
not.
just kidding. Pursue.
Nah. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember now if my dad's even magical. I don't think so. I don't remember. I'm not gonna look it up right now, but I'll look it up on break. But yeah, so this is really interesting, and I'm excited potentially that if the spell works, I can talk to him at Barm Hall, or if it doesn't, we'll go to the Wilder and talk to him, or figure shit out there.
You know who else you'll get to talk to if the spell works in Varm Hall?
Amdus!
Amdus, baby.
He's gonna know everything. He actually is gonna be like, oh, Kardrak, we were best friends. He's a piece of shit, and I'm gonna kill him myself. And then Amdus is gonna go take care of that for us.
Oh, absolutely. Leave it to Amdus.
Yeah. He's got it all covered.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Not a whole lot happens with the rest of this episode. We eat salad in a haunted park and fuck with some teens. And then go back to take a long rest, which is rudely interrupted by our good friend, Bernarda, telling us that we need to go help her rescue Rollo. And we ended the night walking into a trap. And we will discuss said trap when we get back from break. Just take a quick 5-minute break and then see you guys back here to talk about the last 2 episodes. Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are going to start discussing episode 31, which is Boiler Room Blitz, aka the stupid fucking trap that we just willingly we just put our head into a bear trap and we said, just go nuts, just run on our neck, please. And
I think 2 of us put their heads in the trap.
Which 2?
So yeah, some people more than others.
Yeah, some people
Who?
sprung the trap
Who do you
willingly.
mean?
We could talk about it. I don't know what questions you got.
I don't have too much specifically for this. I figure we could just maybe just have a kind of circle chat about what went wrong. So
Okay.
let's get there first. So we arrive at the warehouse where Rollo is being held. And we try to play it smart. 3 of us are invisible. Abe and Elowen do the telepathic link. Abe sneaks in invisible to do some recon. While the rest
What a good
of us
plan.
sounds like a good plan so far, guys.
It was working.
It was working.
And then outside, Gideon realizes that perhaps Bernarda is not being entirely truthful with us. And she does admit that the whole reason we're there is because the group inside wants Abe in exchange for us to receive Rollo. And this might be, some would say, the catalyst for where things started to go wrong, perhaps. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Perhaps.
Huh.
Because there was a chance that instead of being cool about it, I did punch her in the stomach and then run inside. I don't know. I don't think that's super relevant, though. So let me just scroll down here to the rest of it.
It's weird.
Really,
It's weird because without that, I could have just told Invisible Abe that we need to leave, and he could have just left, and we all could have walked away. Is actually what could have happened in this scenario.
What? I don't know about that.
Oh, I think that's exactly what could have happened, actually. Yeah,
I have no comment on this matter.
Yeah, we'll get to you.
Not
Give me 1
allowed.
second. We'll get to you.
Yeah, the real
explosive noise.
I ain't
real
looking-
issue
listen
here-
I ain't judging anybody. You understand?
The real issue here is that Gideon loses it on Bernarda and shoots her. That's what the main issue was. It had nothing to do with
Now, and hear me out. So, well, if you were both invisible inside, and the gunshot
You wasn't?
happened,
Yeah.
you
I
could
wasn't.
have got Rollo and got the hell out of there.
I thought gunshot happened and then Christy went in, or Nell went in.
I went in first, and then the gunshot went off.
Right.
Yeah, because I was
But
like, oh, this is
I-
escalating. And
I
then
wasn't invisible,
Bernardo
though.
was like, spell. And I was like, I literally don't care what spell Denny says. She's casting a spell. I'm putting it into it.
But I counter-spelled it. It wasn't a problem.
I know, but listen, I got a list of flaws to tell you about.
No, and can I be? I love you guys, and I think these are really great choices.
Oh, thanks.
I'm gonna I'm gonna yell at you, but I think these were really good character choices, and they were very narratively driven. It was a much more interesting episode this way. And I think it was a good call. I mean, not a good call, but I think it was a much more interesting episode.
Yep. Let me just move on to my next note here, which is from there, everything continues to go down the toilet.
Yes.
So I guess before we get into it, I just have a quick question for Danny. How did you think it was gonna go?
Is this what you thought was gonna happen?
Do you think that it was going to perhaps, like, did we surprise you with perhaps how we handled this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I thought there might have been a bit more of a stealth element, sending yourselves up to either case the joints. I mean, you had invisibility. I was like, oh shit, that was very impressive. And you know what? They might get away with this. They might be able to get in there, case the joint undetected, and get out. I mean, of course, Bernarda isn't really on their side, so she could blow the cover at any point. But also, you tied her up and basically removed her from the fight. So, I honestly thought things were going really well. All things considered, the abrupt start into the combat, and like not all of the enemy forces were at that end of the warehouse anyway. So like you guys had some time to deal with what was in the area, and people moved around. That being said, I thought you guys handled yourselves quite well. I designed it to be quite the tough challenge.
We dug ourselves out of the hole that we jumped into.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of curiosity, in an alternate timeline, if we had like kept our shit together and like done a full kind of stealth, like I guess, we didn't gag Bernarda, right? So like, was there a chance?
I think
like,
we were going to.
Were
I think
we?
we were in the
Yeah,
process
I
of doing that when a
remember-
gun went off.
I remember
what-
telling someone to gag Bernarda while I had the
Like,
blunderbuss, and then Bernarda was like, "Whooshy, whooshy, whooshy magic," and I was like, "Well."
yeah, like, is there a chance she would have like started like screaming or something, or like tried to alert the people on the inside?
I mean, yeah. There, should you guys had gone in diplomatically, she would have, played on the part of, we're here to arrange this trade, and then kind of reveal that Abe is what we're trading. And Bernarda would have also given herself up.
To us?
No, to the forces
To the
inside.
gang.
Why?
Bernarda just wanted to be with Abe. She wanted
Why was
that
she going to
shit-
give herself up? But I thought
she-
that was like she was already with them.
Had things gone appropriately, you wouldn't have known that.
It was to continue the ruse.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, following. Did she have like a really cool speech planned, and it was going to be like a super epic reveal that we kind of like shat on?
I think it was still a pretty epic reveal.
Honestly, I did too. Like having it happen, like her screaming out in battle, I was like, "Wow, shit!"
Had
okay.
the ruse been able to continue as they'd intended, you also wouldn't have known about that. Like, in a perfect world for Bernarda, you guys would have gotten Rollo, left, Bernarda and Abe would have stayed in place, and then Abe and Bernarda would have had one-on-one combat in the glory of Malden.
Oh. So I say, and like, in what world would we have just like left Abe? But Adam, do you think
I
there's a
know
chance?
that-
Like, if no, but like, Adam, do you think there's a chance that like, if she had explained that, like, you would have stayed to fight her out of honor? Because you stayed when the explosion happened.
I don't know.
This
I
is
never know.
this is an alternate timeline. It didn't
Yeah.
go down like that. Like, I make villain plans based on what they want, not based on what I know you guys do. You know?
That's fair. Yeah.
Maybe you would have. Maybe Abe is brave enough and cocky enough to be like, yeah, I'll give myself up to free Rollo, and then I'll fight my way out of here. And I got Bernarda here to fight out with me, so. Then ruse reveal.
I just feel like, I don't know. I think either way, it would have, like, been messy. Because even if, like, you had stayed, I feel like we would have like, left with Rollo and then come right back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
feel like
you know,
would've-
see, I know as a DM,
Yeah.
like, common sense. I know you guys are trying to keep together. You know, you are the big heroes of the story. I don't plan with you that mindset of you guys in mind. Like, when I plan as an antagonist, I plan with the information I have, or what that character has.
Yeah, and I'm not like shitting on like her plan. I'm just kind of like thinking of like I'm trying to like make it so what we did doesn't seem as bad as it could have been. Because either way, it was gonna get fucking sloppy. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just justifying that maybe
I
we weren't.
understand.
Because
Hear me
like
out. There's an alternate timeline where the trade happens. Bernarda and Abe go in, Rollo goes out, and then Bernarda and Abe team up and then fight their way out just to have a 1v1.
I don't know about that, but that would have been really interesting.
Because Bernarda's not gonna like cheap shot the Chosen, you know? They're not gonna be like, oh, let me have all these gang members
She
weaken the
might cheap
Chosen.
shot the possessor, though.
Yeah, that's true. She might.
Yeah,
cheap shot the
who knows if
Possessor.
the honor goes both ways in that regard. I'm not sure if it does, especially if there's kind of like Malden has like a calling card out for Abe at this point, so
It's an all points bulletin for the Possessor.
and us, even though we're just kind of vague silhouettes. So
Yeah.
that's good.
And whoever the hell else is around, get them too.
Yeah. I don't even know where to go from
Also,
here.
I don't think you guys have pieced together this quite properly yet either, but those weren't Stormguard in there.
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think all of you have pieced that together.
Oh, okay.
Were they all Maldies?
They were all Maldies.
I like that.
Danny
Hi
said that
guys,
about,
we're the Maldies.
Danny said that about
Hey, we're
the
the
dwarven
Maldies.
guy in the learned circle. When you rolled your check, he's like, "Oh yeah, he's a full-on Maldi."
Total Maldi.
Yeah, a bunch of Maldies, man. Great. Well, you know what? That's cool. That's cool.
So cool.
That's casual. It's whatever.
Everything about this episode was really casual. Yeah, so we did kind of get the reveal like that. I guess it was just Bernarda that kind of revealed that she was from Malden, but I made the assumption then that like everyone was, because it did seem like, because when I went after like the big orc woman who said she was in charge, like I think she said something to me about like wanting like my friend or something, so I just kind of assumed like they were all Malden at that point, like once we knew, like I put it together. But Adam, at any point did you like ahead of this assume that these were Maldies?
I mean, no. Not like a hard me being like, oh yeah, these guys, this is my combat. No, it was just like, I know that this is going to come up at a point where it is very inconvenient for all of us. It's probably going to be at night, maybe while we're all sleeping.
Love that. How did Abe feel when Bernarda shouted out Malden's name?
You saw exactly how he felt.
Good.
And I talk about this in the episode after too, of like, he had this naive thought that they would be able to do everything they have to do against the void and save the world, and then it's like, okay, yeah, now we can deal with the consequences of my own actions, you know. And he, you know, kind of hoped that it wouldn't be surrounded by people he cares about either, that there would be this element of like, he's walking in a field, and then it's like, okay, I don't know, like I can't remember the filmmaker,
Like a classic samurai film.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. Two people meet on the road, and it's,
They both charged
Go
each
time.
other, and then they both fall down dead.
yeah, exactly. There's an anime sound effect.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nobody dies until they sheath their sword.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh,
Fortunate
I was
for
gonna say-
Abe, it doesn't have a sheath, so the other guy just lives out his
Yeah.
life.
You know, that is the cheat code in animes. If you get sliced in half, make sure that guy doesn't put his sword away. You're good.
Yeah, you're safe.
You're safe.
I had a
a great
question on
idea.
that, and it disappeared. So who knows?
That effect on people.
It'll come back. I can't blame you for this. It's my ADHD. So, if you want to take credit for that, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. But I do want to go kind of just like a quick like play-by-play of all like how this all went down. So we had a lot of really good, terrible roleplay moments. Let's just walk through our choices. Gideon, walk us through shooting that gun.
Sure. Okay. So basically, as I mentioned earlier tonight, Gideon has not processed the information that has gone on, so that is weighing very heavily on him. Second, the plan went to shit. Like, it went out the window. Abe was in the hornet's nest. He the viper's pit. He was fucked. All right. Nell punched him in the gut. The camera was off. Nell charges in. I'm like, all right, we're about to get noticed. So we're about to make a whole lot of noise. And then Bernardo goes, whooshy whooshy magic spell, which is Denny's like, I cast freedom of movement, but I'm like, Gideon doesn't speak magic, bro. He just knows he knows a spell's being cast. So you know what?
But do
I
you
don't
know
know counterspell.
Counterspell.
I don't know that either. So you know what I do know is that I got a blunderbuss with level 2 violent shot to Bernarda's head. That's what I know. And I'm gonna shoot that bitch before she does anything funny. So that was that. The plane went to shit, and I was like, well, if they're gonna be looking for Abe also, I can make a lot of noise out here and maybe give Abe a chance to not be detected. And then well, what happened happened.
Like, I will say, I do think it's not. I mean, yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible ultimately, because we did, like Teni mentioned afterwards, like really remove Bernarda as a big chunk of this fight, because she's fucking powerful. So if she had been at full health, like, we barely survived as it is. Like, I think we would have been way more fucked if, if we had gone in to do the exchange, and then we decide in the exchange, like, fuck this, actually, and then we maybe get a surprise round. If that, like, I just don't. I think our odds were better the way that this ended up panning out, even if it was very stressful.
Yeah, and also just to run down sort of the flaw situation. So I have the too honest flaw, and I've let this manifest in several ways. One of which being that if Gideon says he's going to do something, he is going to do it, and there is nothing that can stop him apart from him being dead. So when he says, "I'm going to shoot you if you try anything," he's going to shoot them if they try anything, and he did. And there's also the I really hate being on the wrong end, like, of a shit deal. Like, I hate being basically screwed over, betrayed, whatever. We got betrayed. It was great. I think there was one more that contributed to this decision. Let me just check my character sheet real quick. But I had one of those classic D&D moments where you look at your character sheet and go, oh no. Uh-oh.
I think it's fascinating that you, like, really keep tabs on your flaws. I think, like, I don't ever really look
vengeance.
at mine. I have, like, kind of like a vague remembrance of, like, what some of mine are. But I think I just, like, kind of have an instinctual feel of, like, when Nell's just going to do something that's not optimized.
Yeah.
Which is, like, the choice that I made. Whereas, like, she's not super good on strategy yet. So, like, when Bernarda said that they were there for Abe, it was just like, fuck this. I'm not leaving him in there alone, even though he would have been fine logically, but she wasn't thinking logically, so it was all emotion.
Yeah, and the last flaw is that I still have a desire for vengeance that I haven't completely satisfied yet.
Mm.
And I had it resurge in a little bit of like a bit of dialogue and a memory that came back to Gideon. And this is something I've messaged Jenny about, and it's just something that could be further explored in the future of very bad times in Gideon's life. Yeah, so the wording of the bad deal thing is, I hate being on the losing end of a deal, comma, I really, really hate it. So it's just like, when I set that flaw in stone, I was like, okay, so if we ever get screwed over, like, this man is out of line. He is not in this cool. He's lost it. And then, of course, being betrayed makes Gideon feel a little bit angry. Maybe that little bit of vengeance that hasn't been completely satisfied yet gets a little bit tickled, And we're in a great position. And then when Gideon says, "All right, I'm gonna freaking shoot your head off if you try anything," mixed with all of that hatred and vengeance that's bubbling up, then oh no! So
And Azaria goes, "Here's the help action."
Yep. Yeah, basically, tell Gideon to shoot something. He's gonna hit it real good and real hard, as we learn. I rolled really well that session. Roll20 was on my team. I was very happy.
That's true. I think I didn't roll very well myself.
The dice chose violence, and I obliged.
Yeah. This is kind of... No, I'm not gonna skip ahead. So during the fight, we encountered these constructs, which I feel like we haven't really seen anything super similar. Have we seen anything really similar to those?
During the bid,
Yeah.
we saw big construct things, right?
Right. One. Oh, I guess it was only one because one was
One was an illusion, right?
an illusion. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't love that they had this fucking terrifying boiler construct walking around. Not a fan of that, especially when it exploded. But yeah, I think this might have been one of our toughest fights, or at least it felt that way.
I feel like I say that every fight.
I think the only one we didn't say it after was the one in the
Was
fucking
the
Druid enclave,
Druid?
because we had talked about it for so long. We were just oh my god, okay, it's gonna be so hard, and then we are just I don't even know, really
We
prepared.
also
I
had
guess.
Cap, and Cap was just like, "Hey guys, you want to attack on my turn?"
Yes,
It was
that
just
was very helpful.
Wicked! Oh, I love Battle Masters. They're so cool.
I think we've talked about this so many times after fights that we need to just continually sit down as a group in game and talk about our strategy, which I do think we need to do. I really hope that Abe leads that because I feel like you know the most about it.
The Azaria and Gideon Wombo combo is just disgusting.
Well, that's a good strategy. I just think in terms of other things, I think we need to talk about we maybe need to show Gideon certain kinds of magic so he can recognize it, so that if in the future Elowen goes to cast counterspell,
Alright,
he
good.
knows.
Yeah.
I
know
mean,
what?
I don't think it's a bad idea, to be this is what this looks like if you don't know. Right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear you still phrase it we need to work on our strategy. You guys had the strategy. What you need to talk about is your flaws.
We need it sticking to ground. Yeah, I think maybe that actually is the next step, because we've had the conversation about it, but we haven't really done enough of it cohesively to know then where we need to necessarily support each other for things that might.
We have to learn each other's weaknesses
Yeah.
Yep.
so that we can accentuate our strengths.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because for example, if we're caught in a similar situation like that, and you see Gideon is heating up, you're like, you know what, just step outside.
Yeah, and I mean,
Go cool off, big man.
I mean, and considering strategy too, it's why was it Abe that was the one that went in when it could have been Drac, who is the dexterous, stealthy, can read people's lips
think
from
Abe
meters
He
actually
off?
wasn't
was-
invisible.
I was.
He was.
Oh, you were invisible. Why
was.
did we send David?
I think Abe has a better dexterity score, doesn't he?
I have a +3.
Oh, I also have a +3. Are you? You're not proficient in stealth, are you?
I have disadvantage.
Oh.
Why did we send you in?
Yeah, I probably should.
Why was that choice made?
I didn't do it.
I don't really know.
I'm gonna rewatch that episode. We must have made that choice for a reason.
To be fair, I could also have gone in. I have a +5 dex.
You weren't
I-
invisible.
I feel
No,
maybe
If I were, I could have
I
gone.
think Abe just offered, and we said sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, my other thought is like, mechanically, I'm the most durable.
That might have been it.
Can disengage as a bonus action, and I only move 5 feet slower than Drac, at least at the time.
That's true.
Yeah, so maybe that was it. Like, Drac is more stealthy, but if anything should happen, you're stuck in there. Like, you would be more like
We
able
have the
to get
same
out.
stealth, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, well then I don't know, guys. I really
It's a
don't.
choice that was made.
Yeah.
Hey, we made it. It was close, but we made it.
It was very close.
It's
Speaking
too
of-
close, but we made it.
Get to that. How close it was.
Speaking of choices that were made, as we were like splitting up, fully as a group, we made their own choice in sending Abe back to deal with Bernarda. Really wish I hadn't done that. I should have thought about it, but I wasn't thinking clearly. The moment I realized what was happening, I was like, fuck, that was a mistake. Yeah. Adam, you want to talk about kind of
Good story mode.
yeah, it was such good. But you want to like talk about like Abe's? You can break down now the fuck up that was Abe's choice in this situation.
Sure.
Not that it was an entire fuck up, but the role play decision.
I mean, I think it's, and again, I touched on it in the episode after, where, you know, he's still wrestling with the fact, and this is probably it is the first instance of actually being faced with the consequences of what he did, where, you know, he's seriously impacted this entire faith. Even if it's a small number of people, it's still, you know, what right did he have to remove the option of her going to her afterlife? And then when she just wants to die fighting somebody, you know, who is he to deny that? Especially when he's in a position to grant that request. She's been beaten. She's, you know, yes, she's powerful. She can heal herself. It could be a real fight. I have no idea how strong she is. But from Abe's perspective in that moment, outside of it being a game, she's a beaten foe. She wants to die with hammer in hand. Why not let her? And then Gideon shot the top half of her face off. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
I ain't about to let
such-
Bernarda get what she wants after she fucked me over, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
No, that was a good choice. I fully approved.
You don't get a warrior's death. You get, hey, oops, Abe, let's go.
It was such a good scene of storytelling in that sense that it was like such like a moment of like gray kind of ethics in a way, because I'm like, I think technically both of you, like, not necessarily in the right fully, but like I can understand both of your reasoning for like what happened in that moment. So it's just like really fascinating to me, like how it all broke down. And of course it was so upsetting in the moment, like realizing what was happening. I'm like, we're so right now. Oh my God, it was terrifying.
And I think that observation is also what made that conversation between the two of them in the next episode like really good. And just I think I'm always going to remember Adam's response to that, you know, just that is frustratingly a friendly response.
Yeah. As though it absolves you of everything that happened after.
Wait, what conversation?
The two of them,
conversation between.
yeah, they talked about like that situation, like, why did you bring her back? Why did you kill her?
Oh yeah,
When?
We
Why
were
not?
at Hot Cropic at the time.
you were buying crop tops.
Right.
Wow.
You had a very silly, very fun, you know, moment.
Yep.
And then Ryan and I were like, you know what? Let's
dive into
Wow.
it. Let's
I-
hop
take
in.
down a few notches.
Fully
Let's chop that
Adam-
tree at the base.
Adam, can
I
I just
fully
say,
did not take notes in that moment at all, which is so embarrassing. So that's
Well, you weren't there.
well, I take notes even if I wasn't there. I take notes, but I put like a meta tag on it because I don't actually
nice.
know.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I didn't do it for this one, so fucking.
I'll
God.
keep interrupting you if you would like, Ryan.
no, that's fine. Adam, I just
and
wanted
I
to
just
say
think that-
I'm super thankful to be role playing with you again, man. You're so good.
Right back at you.
Oh
good time.
shit.
All right, I'm gonna make a note about this so we can talk about it more later because I clearly didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I did want to say, though, for Abe, the whole encounter felt very reminiscent of the situation during the bid when we had all decided that Rhea was going to be the one that goes ahead and scouts. And then Drac decided to go off, and then Logan said that Rhea doesn't trust Drac anymore. And that was very much the same feeling for Abe of like, he tries to defend his friends and be this bulwark, but they don't want him to be, so he might as well now just try to kill everything before they get to them. So it's probably going to feed into some interesting decisions later down the line that have nothing to do with the feats I've taken. Don't look at my character sheet.
You mean that in the regard that like, do you have like some like negative feelings towards like how the group is handling?
Well, just what's the point in trying to protect you if you're going to run into a room that you know no information about, even though I've been literally telling you everything I know?
Yeah, that's fair. That'd be an interesting conversation for us to have, because I feel like we haven't had a conversation like that, you and I.
Yeah.
Because it's fascinating to me, because it's like, it wasn't that Nell doesn't trust Abe's ability, I don't think. It's like, I think she has the exact same feelings as you about wanting to protect everyone, because that's like what she was born and raised to do, and feels like a massive failure because she absolutely did not do that for her family. And so she's like, well, I couldn't do it for them. At the very least, I can try and do it for these new people. It's almost like we're both like fighting to fill that position. It's like, I'm not leaving you alone. Absolutely not.
You know, it's very funny too, in considering like how you guys are now also both like, you know, the charismatic speakers. You're both the protectors. You're both the front line.
Coming for my fucking brand, but all right.
You guys are literally fighting to occupy the same position in this social dynamic.
Not necessarily.
Not
I think we approach
necessarily
it very
competing.
differently.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you both
That's
are
interesting.
qualified to fill this position.
Right.
I think that kind of plays in too to like Nell's feelings towards Abe's, because she's always had kind of like a connection to him that I myself has always been like, why? Just curious. And I think it might be like she feels like they have a lot of similarities in the fact of like having this kind of like dual situation going on inside of them, and she really wanted to like feel like if she could help Abe, then like she could figure out what was going on with her, like fix that potentially. So it's kind of cool watching like how that's like where that's leading. Yeah, because we're like stepping on each other still.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I realized like we're 32 episodes in, but I'm like, Gideon and Abe haven't really spoken that much over the time of this campaign. And I'm like, we spoke a lot at the start, but then we kind of separated, and you know, started talking to other members of the group, and I'm like, I think Gideon misses his boy. So like, Gideon's gonna start talking to Abe and hanging around Abe a lot more, because almost losing Abe was like, no, that's not happening again. So Gideon's gonna stick to you like glue. We're gonna have some Abe and Gideon combos again, bro.
Meanwhile, Abe is like, I'm mad at you.
Yep.
I need time to stop being mad at you.
Yeah, growth is not linear.
Oh my god, ain't that the truth?
Yep, growth is messy. So, you know, we'll explore that when we get to it.
I had another question that you don't have to answer if you feel like it's going to come out in character or in game, but you said twice now that Abe feels like he needs to face the consequences for what he's done, but like, why is he viewing it in that way? Like, he didn't ask to have this like thing of Malden in him, you know, and clearly like he was someone else before because he's getting these kind of new memories that might have to do with like the Brave and everything. So like, why does he feel so responsible for wanting to take kind of control over what is his actual life?
Well, I don't necessarily think that he's sitting there thinking like, I have to face these consequences. I think it's just that there are consequences, and he didn't think they would come up as quickly. And so it's more along the lines of just, you know, his choices have had ramifications that are now almost killed his friends. Like, Gideon and Elwyn were the only ones that weren't at risk of dying in the last moments of that encounter, and if things had been different, Like, if he had never gotten his soul shard fixed, then who knows what that whole situation would have been like. I mean, that's a big hypothetical because it changes like 15 episodes of the campaign. But
Yeah, that's fair. I do think that down the line at some point, we collectively as a group are all gonna have to get over ourselves, because I think like there's like a lot of us have had that thought individually of like, oh my God, like I am the worst thing to have happened to this group, and like my actions are gonna like fuck everyone. And it's like we keep having those thoughts, and it's like, well, we're all still fucking here, and we're all like adults that have made the choice to be here. So like, tough, Like I think it's just like part of like being in a group like this, like, and being an adventurer. We'll have that conversation in game at some point, I'm sure, but I think it's really interesting that we're all like, oh, this is all my fault. We're all like trying to like out like guilty each other.
yeah.
I think Gideon's the one outlier because he's just like, I don't even know what the hell I did. I don't know what happened. Everyone's like, oh, I'm I don't know, I've done some horrible things. I'm a bad person. It's like, I don't know if I'm a bad person.
Probably just trying to outbrood each other, really.
Yeah.
They brought in the brooding, and we were like, oh, that sounds so
That's
cool.
so cool.
Oh my God, what if
I
we
want to do that
all
too.
brooded
Together. Have a kumbaya, but it's brooding.
What if I get a dark poncho?
A question for Christy from Jonimus. How nervous were you once you got that 3rd level of exhaustion?
Oh boy. So that was in the beginning of the next episode. So I might answer that in just a second because we can lead into it now. I have some fun thoughts about that. I didn't even think to write that part down, so that's good. So let's just jump quickly to the beginning of the next episode. The most tense beginning to an episode ever, I think made worse by the fact that we were just like agonizing about it for 2 weeks. And yeah, I would like to know if everyone did spend those 2 weeks leading up to it like strategizing. I know that myself, Anthony, and Dallas definitely did because we talked about it. But yeah, if you did, like, what was your plan, and in your mind, what was like the best and worst case scenario that could have happened? I can start quickly, which is that I knew I was going to be up. I was not concerned about the fact that I was going to die, but I was worried that other people would, and that would have been really hard for Nell if anyone else had died and she was just good to go. I was most concerned about getting to the other side of the building to Gideon and to Abe and being like, I'm not gonna be able to get there because I'm not fast enough, and like, what if we need to bring them up? And I was imagining if like they die, Nell was gonna fucking lose it. I was gonna cut off Bernarda's head so we could like talk to her via Speak with Dead, and then I was just gonna go like insane. Would have been my villain arc, but it didn't happen, so we're good. Everyone else?
I can say, so I remember when we were back at the Druid Enclave, we had a discussion about if X amount of people die, when do we cut our losses? And I determined in that moment that Gideon will never leave someone to die and will never, ever back down from that situation. So when Abe was in the building and Gideon saw that there was a slim, very slim chance that he might be able to get Abe out, I was like, Gideon is going to either get Abe out or die. And there was no in between. So I was just like, fuck. When I was running into the building, I was like, I have to think creatively on how to not take fire damage right now. And I watched the last episode. I was like, did I get any items? What did I have in my inventory? What did I get? And it was just like so many things. I was like, okay, if there's something heavy, maybe I can use a shovel and like figure something out there. And it was just like, okay, cool. So I was just thinking like what options I have to help boost my strength stat. Because I was like, there's no way Abe is not covered in debris. So I was just a matter of how much debris. Yeah. But then, thankfully the clutch monster that is Abe, saved me. He saved Gideon's life. So hell yeah.
What about Dallas? You want to talk about like how you were thinking about things?
Yeah, I thought about it a lot because I thought that I had the best chance of doing anything here because I did have the movement speed. and I had a health potion. The real problem is I have no ability to help people when they're down. The only thing I have is I can help people while they're still up, but I have nothing once they're down. So I was trying to figure out where the health potions were in the party. And then I thought about the scroll of Revivify, which you gave me, and I should give back to you. Remind me that you need that and not I.
I think you gave it to Drac, didn't you?
I don't think I did. I gave you your cross back. Did you take it? You can have it.
You did you handed both the symbol and the Revivify scroll to me, and then you told me to run around back because you knew that's where Abe was.
Super. That's all yours. I don't want it. It's much better in your hands. Yeah, no, because outside of the game, like after we finished that game, I called my shot that I was going to go back and get Nell first. I was like, that's the first thing I'm doing is I'm going back to Nell. And then I thought about it for 2 weeks and I was like, well, and actually really the problem was the night before the three of us hung out and all night Anthony was like, but you know, Drac is really the better choice. You know, Nell's gonna have 2 levels of exhaustion. She's gonna be moving at half speed. You really should go for Drac first. And then Matt was like, you know, you really should go for Drac first. That's really clearly the correct choice here. And then I had to sit there for a while and think about my life. Because they were right. Drac was the right choice. But I felt like I'd already called my shot, and I felt like my choice in the moment, if I hadn't thought about it for 2 weeks, was to go for Nell first. So I was like, I feel like I have to do that because that's just the more
honoring that reactionary strategy.
Yeah. And it worked out okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I love the way that you narrate it too. Just like it made me feel very touched the way like you were describing like Elwyn couldn't just fly past Nell, and I was like, oh.
That was exact. I was like, I don't know how I could. It just didn't make sense. So, but it ended up being okay. What I was really afraid of, because I thought you were further back than you were. So I thought I was gonna have to dash that first turn to get to you.
Right.
And that's where that whole like decision was made, because if I was dashing, I could have made it to Drac. In that first turn. Like if I was dashing, I wasn't giving anyone a health potion the first turn, but I could have gotten to you or Drac the second turn. But because you were within 60 feet of me, the choice was easy after that point, because then I could get to you, give it to him, and then give it to you and then get to him on the second turn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which was good, because who knew Drac was gonna die in 2 fucking turns? God damn it.
Yeah, it was 2 natural ones in a row, because I've rolled a natural 1 on the deck save and a natural 1 on my first death save.
That's so scary, because if Nell was 5 feet further back, you would have died.
Yep.
Well, it was, you got a 1 and then a 9. I have my paper here with the death saves on it still.
But he rolled a 1 before that.
Yeah,
I did roll a 1 before.
1 was his first. Yeah.
Garbage.
No, but then I also rolled a natural 1 for the deck save, Teni.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so 2 nat 1s in a row.
Yeah, look, I got an A+ in statistics in university. 3 people shouldn't have rolled deaths in that. That's not how the stats of that work.
Yeah, it was pretty much. It's crazy too, because to think like everyone had their own kind of like knowledge going forward in the week of like what their roles were and like how they were gonna play out. Like Adam, were you
Kind
just
of
like
freeing,
like sitting pretty, being like, I'm good.
I'm fine. Nothing bad gonna happen.
Like, was it like a stressful week for you, or were you just, I don't know how much you think about this game in your off time, like the rest of us.
It depends how busy work is normally.
Fair.
It was not busy, so I was thinking about it a fair bit.
Yeah, were you just were you good to go because you knew that you rolled a nat 20? Like,
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what was going to happen in those 2 turns. When Gideon took fire damage, I thought, okay, maybe I'll be taking fire damage too.
Ooh.
And maybe that'll add some sweat, more sweat, I should say. But I didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so that was such a stressful period. To break down kind of like the chain of events that happens, we have Elwyn got me up. I gave her my potion and scroll. Next turn, you got to Drac, got Drac up. And then on my first turn, I was able to, I think, just get to Rhea.
Yeah, I think you had to dash.
I think I misty stepped, which is when
that's
I
right.
got my beard of feathers, which made me so angry. Because I just feel like that keeps happening, which it's kind of funny with the way that we're playing it from like the chaotic of the wilderness, that I feel like there's so many like, because these things play out like movies in my mind where I'm like, oh, this dramatic moment, and it's like fucking beard of feathers. I'm like, now is not the time. I am so stressed. Which plays into the question that Johnny had for me about getting another fucking level of exhaustion, because it was my fault. I was honestly a little mad at you, Danny, that you made me take damage from trying to crawl off my feather beard. I respect it, but it infuriated me.
I gave you the key to get rid of it, actually, and I think you were
Did
too
you?
emotional to follow it up. I'm like, your nose tickles.
Oh, I had to
Sneezing
sneeze.
would have caused the beard to...
I didn't get that either.
There's
You were all
zero-
stressed like crazy, but
Yeah, there's zero
I
chance
gave you the
I
key.
would have like
Yeah.
no, there's absolutely no way I would have taken that. She was in such a desperate like headspace with everything that was happening and like terror for her friends. She's gonna fucking make herself sneeze. It's good to know for the future if it happens again,
there you go.
but I was like, I cannot believe, like, I just think it plays into Nell's current insecurity. It's just like she goes down way too much, doesn't feel like she's super like useful a lot of the time, and then to like make herself go down at such a moment when everything is so stressful and like everything's on like a knife's edge, it just felt so stupid. And then she was so incapacitated with 3 levels of exhaustion. She's like, well, I guess I deserve this, but it sucks.
That being said, I felt bad too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Not your fault.
I thought it was a beautifully absurd moment. Like it was so fucking tragic. Like you were trying so hard to help, and you were just rewarded with sheer embarrassment by this entity
Yeah.
that's been plaguing your life. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
It
it's
was like-
so cool.
Kind of like necessary levity, to be honest, because that whole start of an episode was just like a deep valley of emotion.
Yeah.
And I think we really needed that little spike of hilarity to keep us
Well-
going through it.
Well, it was tragic
I'm
too.
here
Like
to
it was
serve.
funny, but it was also like, fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonimus. I love that Azaria's first sight was Nell with a feather beard.
I hate that.
Also, Logan must have been terrified because they were so close to
Well,
going.
Logan had the
No, it-
most time out of everybody.
Yeah.
He'd
Yeah.
made
they had
5
a
rolls.
long.
I know, but still,
Well, I don't know. Like,
stress.
I
But-
mean, technically, I would have gone down before Logan did if Elwyn hadn't stopped at me first.
Yeah.
So,
To like do that many rolls for like.
Oh
Logan's
yeah, that must have
sake,
been
having to
fucking
go
like
back and
terrifying
forth
to have to like
couple
roll that
times.
many times. Yeah, I mean, unless something really drastic happened, I don't think Rhea was at super risk of truly dying again. But yeah, I can't imagine like rolling your death saves just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so stressful.
Once
Sorry.
I popped up, I had a choice to like. I was going to healing word Rhea, but then you went down again. I was like, no, get back up. We're not doing this.
Which I really appreciate, because I would have been so mad if I had just been down for the rest of it. It was fucking
Rhea
embarrassing.
has healing abilities, right? Too.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many spell slots they had left.
don't think they had
Again,
any.
you all have the ability to stabilize.
That's true, we
without
could have stabilized,
magic.
but she still would have been down.
Magic.
Yeah, it would have been fine, but
We're not.
Yeah.
Dr. Gideon is here to save you all. Combat
but like
medic.
ultimately I had the ability to heal, so it
Yeah.
anyway.
What were you gonna
Yep.
say, Adam?
I had a quick question for you, Anthony.
Oh.
How did you feel with 2 failed saves?
Oh, I was kind of like, at first I was like, oh fuck, okay. I kind of like, I didn't know exactly where we were at the end of like the last session when that went down. So I was like, oh, I guess Drax's dead. Like that's it for him. Cool. I started thinking about backup characters and everything. And then when I that's why like I asked you, Denny, like how are we gonna run this? Because I had to like mentally prepare myself for like what's gonna happen if Drac doesn't get up in time. But the other half of that was like, I don't really need to think about what's gonna happen, you know? I kind of pushed Dallas to try to get to me first just in case, but if it didn't happen, didn't happen.
I was going to ask a follow-up of, did that inform your decision to pressure Dallas into rescuing you first?
Sure did, bud.
You made me really concerned the way you kept asking me to go for you first.
Yeah, but Drax clearly the better
Hey,
choice. Dude.
Keep your meta out of
Clearly
this.
the better choice. And I did. I went for no.
Yeah.
I didn't succumb to the peer
Yeah,
pressure.
no, I think
but
it was
no,
good.
I was
good
worried.
decision. It was a good character decision.
We had a revivify scroll. It was gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, I'm
Well, who
so
can cast
glad.
it?
Well, if
Nell would have done it.
Nell can cast it.
yeah, because I did like technically the order of events was that like I did get Rhea up and then make myself go down by clawing at my feather beard. So Rhea would have been up, could have gotten me up. I could have thus then cast Revivify on Drac if I absolutely had to. So glad that we didn't
My
have to use
concern,
that.
yeah,
Wait,
my concern
what?
with that was what was going on in the back, though. I didn't know if
Yeah.
I
Abe was
know.
gonna die.
That was
Well-
really my concern too. I was like, and then I was picturing this whole thing that we'd like fucking go to the temple with one of us or more potentially, and like trying to get like Ray's dead cast, and there was a great potential for a sweet role play between me and Knife Marvelous.
What level of sorcerer are you?
Me, 4.
Oh,
Why?
so there would have been luck involved in that casting. Because you're not 5th level sorcerer, which means that if you use a spell scroll above the level you can cast, there's a check involved.
He also would have had disadvantage on that check because she was exhausted.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the
Oh my
other
god.
yeah.
It would have been not great.
I might have been the better person to cast it.
I think we actually had that conversation, Dallas. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that
we
like,
did too.
I think either way I was
Yeah.
planning on
Before.
giving it to you because I
Yeah.
knew that I had 2 levels. So,
Huh.
Well,
yeah.
we're all alive. So
It
who
didn't matter.
cares?
fucking
We did it!
yeah. I do want to make a point of saying, I think we said it in the group chat afterwards, but like we were giving Denny Jonas, that's rude. He said that
I know.
Drac was the smarter choice. Yes, Drac would have been the smarter choice, but we don't meta
Absolutely
game.
the better choice.
We
I
weren't
know the more I thought
metagaming.
about it, the more I was like, I'm so much the better choice.
Fine.
That's fucking hysterical.
Anyways, yeah, we were giving Denny a hard time because we were like, this is the most stressful shit to end on and have to like think about for 2 weeks, and we are like, cool, trauma, etc. But honestly, that whole sequence of events was so cinematic. And then like it was so cool, like having that build up of 2 weeks for things to play out the way that they did. Like it just like I feel like in my mind it's like a series of like flashes of like vignettes. It's really cool. But yeah, that moment, like the way you narrated it, Denny, gave me fucking chills when like we found out about Abe's Nat 20. Like, I don't know, I sobbed. It was amazing.
I mean,
That was such
like,
a beautiful cast reaction.
So good.
like I
I need to go
said
back and
at
rewatch that.
the top of that episode too, like I was stressed during those 2 weeks as well. Like I wasn't free of that. Jesus, no. Except for knowing that Abe had rolled that 20, I was like, this is gonna be so freaking cool.
Fair. Yeah, Astronomus. Astronomus says the blue flash description was awesome. I agree. The moment you started on that, I was like, wait, like what's happening? Like, what do you mean? And then you're like, as he rolled the nat 20, I'm like, it was just like 2 weeks worth of stress just like melted off of my body. I was like, he's okay. Like I don't
I know.
have to try and get there.
And like
Couldn't
so
get there
many of
anyways.
so many of you guys have been like, the front half of the party should be fine. It's really Abe and Gideon we're worried about, and Gideon's up, so it's really just Abe. And then
And you
just
were like,
knowing,
nah.
I was like, Abe's getting up.
They're
it's gonna be
fine.
really cool. I kind of wanted to pitch it to you to be like, how, like, what is it like when you get yourself up? But I was just like, the blue comes on, you get a chance to get this freaking girder off yourself. Because Gideon's not.
That's exactly what
Gideon's
would have
not.
happened.
I'm trying.
It's just turned on and it's
So cool.
I also like
Abe's like rise and grind, baby.
I
get the pump on.
Yeah.
when that was happening, like that whole like encounter, like I've occasionally have moments when I'm playing D&D and I can just vividly picture what is happening. And like the moment I cracked that signal flare till when Abe got up and we left was just like so. I saw it and I was like, fuck, this would be so cool if someone animated this. Like, it was just
Yeah.
like-
I love that visual too of you with the signal flare. I thought that was so cool. Like I was just a wreck. It was all awesome. Just a cool movie happening in my brain.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna keep making checks. It's a good chance I'm burning alive. This is great.
God.
I know, I loved you making strength checks. And you even rolled pretty well on one of your strength checks. I thought you rolled
Yeah.
like a 17 with your like disadvantage, or did you have advantage? You had
I had
advantage, but you had
yeah.
such a terrible strength roll that I was like, oh, nice, good job, bud.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
I was like,
Oh,
I gotta
I was
roll a
happy
nat
for you.
20. I gotta get a nat 20 on this. That was like the only way I felt like I was gonna have a chance.
Yeah, Denny's nodding
Yeah.
along.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, thank you for the advantage. Thank you so much. But it was like, as soon as I didn't see that green number skin pack, I was like, shit.
Well, I mean, it was smart of you, to bring a tool with you to try and leverage something. I was like, oh, freaking yeah. Well, smart thinking.
He may not be strong, but he's no dummy.
You're
He's
really
no
earlier in
genius.
this thing, you were like, he's not the smartest person.
Yeah.
Well, he's no dummy, but he's not like a 20 intelligence. He's 14 intelligence. Slightly above average intelligence.
He's like street smart,
Yeah,
Yeah. So we lived, shockingly.
Yep.
Teni, what did you have our chances of survival at? Or did you really think about it in those terms?
Well, like I already said, like I had a feeling the front end was going to be pretty good, and because I already knew that Abe was alive, I was like, it's going to be fine. I think the only curveball that kind of got me was when Gideon went in. I was like, oh shit, okay, somebody can potentially die again.
Visibly gets excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Ooh,
you did have that funky cloak that did offer some protection from the fire. I was like, oh, cool. He kind of tuned into what this thing is. So that did save you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm thankful. It saved me a lot of damage, I'm sure, because I think I missed like 2 instances of damage. And at the end of last session, I think I had like 10 HP left.
I was gonna
I think
ask.
it was 10 or 12.
Yeah, it was 10 or 12, something like that. And I was like, okay, I can take a little bit of damage. I can do it. Let's go. Just
how much fire
I'm standing.
damage? How much fire damage did you take?
I took 3.
3.
Yeah. Not terrible. I guess if it had kept happening, that would have been
Oh, yeah.
unfortunate. But
Oh yeah, I'd have been.
ooh, that would have been a great scene though if you like passed out, then Abe gets up and then he like carries your body.
That was the moment Abe rolled the nat 20. I was like, oh, like fuck, that could happen.
Help me.
I like when I was kind of thinking what was going to happen, I wasn't expecting you to go rushing back in, and knowing that Adam had rolled that 20, I was like, just if Gideon's out there kind of panicking and then the silhouette of Abe just comes walking out of that building, I was like, that would have been really cool too. But you were there when he got up.
Gideon becomes Maldy. Sees Possessor walking from flames. My God.
Shoots him in the head.
How would you like to coup de grace him?
That would have been so funny. Cool. Well, we made it out of the shit show that was that warehouse experience, and we kind of chat a little with the melange that were there, and then go back to the inn.
Can
Yes,
I
please.
just really want to shout out Denny for that whole encounter. It was really
Yeah.
cool. The
It
boat
was very
a great
cool.
adversary.
It was.
Oh, that boiler was so cool.
The time limit
The
of the
boiler.
boiler was super cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the stakes were so high.
The counter
Yes.
spell move that thing had. Dude, that was so fucking cool.
It didn't work. Luckily
No,
for
but
you
like,
guys.
just
Just
I
that
just
it
think
was
that's such
there.
a cool idea. That's such
Yeah.
a neat idea, just to have
Yeah.
like a freaking air horn go off. Beep, beep, beep. It was great.
Spoilers, just
to
like a Miami Beach bro.
Yeah. No, just I love the idea of startling a mage out of casting a spell. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, that's so smart. I've never thought of that. Well, my players are gonna hate me now.
Like that. Isn't there an item? It's like a horn that you can blow in someone's direction and only they hear it go off.
Oh yeah, the horn of silent alarm.
Yeah.
That's
It'd
amazing.
be really funny to play like pranks on like go to like the students at the university and just like blow it at them. Oh,
Those
that would
pranksters
be
that
fun.
got us in the park.
Ooh yeah. Fuck them kids.
I was pretty pleased with that encounter. And you know what? I'm glad Dallas bargained for me to roll more turns for the boiler because
We didn't
in
have enough
hindsight,
turns.
there wasn't enough time. Nope. So it was lucky, and I wish I'd rolled that d6 that I rolled on camera to determine how many more turns you guys got. Because, that really gave you just enough time to get Rollo out of there.
Yeah.
Literally
If you-
just
Yeah.
out the door.
Dallas.
Could not have been tighter.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Insane.
That's one of those things as well where like I cast fly on myself. I have such a problem with my spell slots where I'm like I feel like I have to optimize using them every time, and because I cast fly up a level, I could have cast on 2 people.
Yeah.
And that's why I like debated so much doing it at the time, because I was like, if I can get close enough to someone, I can get 2 of us and that could be great. But I think it was done at the right time because it helps get Rollo out quicker. And we
Yeah.
barely had time to do it.
Yeah, it was just like right at the last second, which in itself was
Ellen-
extremely cinematic. So
Elwyn came in clutch there, like casting the fly spell, critting the lock on the door with the Eldritch Blast. It was just like, damn, grabbing the
And-
documents and flying out of there. I was like, holy shit, that's a lot accomplished in 2 turns. Like, holy fuck.
I'm sure you guys can probably guess where the key was by this point.
Bernarda.
You got it.
Yep.
It's like
I was-
Well,
the
that wasn't gonna
boiler.
happen. In the safe?
someone swallowed it.
And you know what?
Boiler swallowed.
And you guys didn't even bring the safe with you in the end.
I know.
I know. I realized there was just. I mean, I wouldn't have like in character thought about it because I was fucked. But
Yeah.
I really wish I had gone back later to be like, oh, did it explode open or did it survive? Just curious.
I thought about going back and like casting a spell or something, like maybe like thunder waving and seeing if I could blast it through the wall. Just for, I don't know. I don't even think that would have worked, but I was like, I really want the safe.
Yeah.
Give
Go
me the
back to a
treasure.
criminal, a crime scene manned by the magical police and try and blow open a safe that's on the scene. Sounds like a great idea.
Well, we already had our trial, so
Yeah. We're innocent forever,
Do you-
right? That's how that works?
Yep.
Do you think that
So-
safe is still there?
no.
Yeah.
But at least like I think Elowen like pushed me to be like, we've got what's important. It's probably just money in there. And I was like, oh, right, worthless money. Goodbye. Because all I wanted was, I was worried that there was more like delicate information that might have been kept in the safe, and that's what I wanted. But it seems like what we got from like the papers was kind of what we needed. I hope, at least.
It was helpful.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
we'd learned
know.
a lot. Like, so at back at the end, we learned like that they, like the followers of Maladin have received this vision of Abe calling him the possessor and that he wants the body back. And that they're being called south for some reason, which I'm very suspicious of. Again, I don't know if it's like all roads lead to the Tempest Expanse, but I just feel like perhaps that could be the
Well-
case, especially with. Go ahead.
Well, so we got the name of the person too that went south.
Yeah, Blue Spark.
Yeah.
We already knew about, apparently. Because
Yeah, from
Did you actually say that name before?
Cap
Oh.
did, yeah.
Captain.
Yeah.
Captain
I watched
Blue
the
Spark.
episode again. Absolutely.
Did
Wow.
Oh, you're so clever.
God, the way that you
These
can
little
plant
hints.
fucking foreshadowing into this is insane to me because
Yeah.
like you think like I don't know, like sometimes I read a book and I'm like, oh, that seems like it's like a pretty important like little detail, like why would they mention that? But I think maybe you have the benefit of there's just so much information happening all the time that like I think I'm getting a lot of it, but then like you can just get so much under my radar because I'm like, what is happening?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do actually have a question for Denny about that. After Abe and the gang killed He Whose Hunger Is Unending.
I'm going to
There's
just
a
say
vision.
yes.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
hot pirate lady.
Oh,
Wait, what?
fuck.
Oh.
Abe had a vision of, I think it was three?
Three
silhouettes?
individuals who looked at him disappointedly.
Yeah.
right at the end of the ritual.
Yep.
And
Wasn't
amongst
one
their
Valen?
number was a hot pirate lady.
What were the other two? I can't remember.
I think one was
One was
Valen.
Valen.
One was Valen, the other one was a larger, like, Goliath man.
Defoe's Amdus.
Anders.
I swear to God.
Oh.
Did call him a glory hound, just say it.
I did. He was
Oh
totally
my
a glory hound
God.
in his youth.
Okay, you
That'd be
don't get
so
to make those
funny.
decisions.
That's fair.
Like that
Die
because that's
is
my
cast,
character.
Christy.
That's
No.
fair. I will
do not
consult
allow
you
it.
with any decision about Amdus that you wish.
No. I mean, I'm fine unless it means that he's Malden adjacent, because then I'm not fine. I refuse.
I'm disappointed in you.
Although maybe if he's like an ex-Malden, he can help me go punch Malden in the face later, because that's kind of one of Nell's primary goals. So
True. Maybe.
you're looking
I
to
don't
end
know.
this campaign with like what the fuck is the word? The whatever. I just want to be like Nell, the God Puncher or something. I just think that'd be really cool.
That's a
Well, I
pretty
mean-
cool title. You should aim
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna aim for. So just like a casual kind of goal of mine for the future. So
Yeah. I mean, well, shit. Yeah. I just had a thought about Amdus.
me and Gramps. Let's go. Anyways, cool. Does anyone else have any thoughts or feelings about what we learned from the warehouse? Out of curiosity. No? Great. So Elwyn, you finally receive the letter from Valoon from Rhea, and then had like a pretty intense reaction immediately. So if you want to
Oh,
like
God.
walk us through that, like on how Elwyn was feeling in the moment.
I think that was more a Dallas reaction than an L. That was so visceral. So
It was just, like,
unintentional.
made me laugh so much.
You know what? I'm gonna find that moment and clip it.
It was so good. It was so good.
Because you can hear me hit mute immediately. I didn't think it was going to make a sound. Anti-Elwyn. Ooh. I don't know.
Is that what he called you? We still don't know what was in that letter, so.
Anti-Elwyn.
Hi, Auntie.
Ugh. Oh, I don't know.
What is
I mean-
Elwyn expecting?
What is Elwyn expecting, or what is Dallas expecting? I don't know.
Both?
So Dallas has no clue what's happening here. Dallas is very stressed about it and has been for like 2.5 months now, and that's why I was so fucking annoyed with you at the end of the last session.
Oh, I know. I was so ready. I was like, just let's get fucked up more. Let's go.
Tell me what is going on.
We couldn't have that conversation after crop topic.
Cool.
That's fair.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hard
yeah,
to
I don't know.
crop topic, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I don't know. Teni is so in my head. Every single thing you say sends me spiraling. I like every look you give me. I'm like, what does that mean? Why did we call the episode there, Teni? Why did he call me Anti-Elwyn? I have my brain. We have to have this conversation. I'm going to go insane. Elwyn's nervous. I mean, this is very important to her. I think Elwyn is a person who is so extremely family oriented, especially despite the fact that her family is super fucked up. Yeah, I don't know. This matters a lot, and I'm very nervous about how it will go.
Yeah.
So anyways, Anti-Elwyn is just way too casual for how I have avoided him for a century, and I don't know. The whole letter was way too casual for where I think we are right now in our relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm stressed about the whole thing.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because obviously Nell doesn't know this yet, but I think this is what I might have said to you before, and I can't remember now. But it's kind of that thing of I think maybe this is something Elwyn has really I do think that there was issues in the family, but I do wonder if your time away from it has made it seem a lot more than what it was left as, and whereas you might feel like that divide is getting wider, I wonder if that entire time your family wasn't thinking about you in that regard and was just wanting to have closeness with you again, which is why maybe you were talked about by your sister quite a bit, and it wasn't that you were some big question mark to Valoon his whole life, but someone that she talked about fondly, which is why he wrote this letter in such a casual way.
That's so horrifying.
Christy, you're making it worse.
I know, I love it.
No, I know. That's what I'm afraid of too.
Christy's got the DM.
Because I have so many things to say to Elo and Oz now that I've said to Dallas already as me, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can't wait.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely a thing that Elowen has, I don't know, made worse in her own head than it potentially is, unless she's right, in which case she has made the right decision in not going anywhere close to them,
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out.
No, I don't wanna.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to actually see Elowen like have to confront something to do with this, because I think you've just been running for such a long time. I'm really curious to see how it goes. And I have another question for you on that regard. Like, Elowen is not someone who trusts easily. And like you made it very clear, like there was a specific moment in Valdem Bridge where you started kind of like considering the party like, I don't know, close to you or like trustworthy in your eyes. And so the fact that you like asked us to come along with you, I think is pretty significant. And like, was that a hard decision for Elowen to make? And like, did you have any sort of like realization of the fact that like you aren't really alone with these things anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was a number of things that factored into that choice. Like a lot of them metagamey as well, where I think it's just more fun if we're all there. And Dallas doesn't fully trust the situation, so I would like other people there as well. But yes, I think from Element's perspective, I mean, especially like everyone nearly fucking died last night, I don't think she's super thrilled about like not being around people at the moment. And yeah, I think the group has proven to be helpful and calming in situations. So it's maybe, and also she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna say to him. I don't know what he wants to talk about. You've all met him, so maybe you have something to talk about. Maybe I don't have to do the talking.
I mean, I could have a really nice conversation with him. I think depending how it goes, like if you aren't forthright, I might be a bit of a shit disturber in this situation. Because it's like part of a flaw of mine actually that I haven't really played into that much, I don't think, where one of Nell's thing is that like because she just grew up in such like intense like familial circumstances, like it was kind of like nothing is off limits, and so I'm kind of excited to potentially do that. Who knows? See how it goes.
Oh. It's not too late for you to go back to the inn,
Oh, but I wouldn't.
You could.
I won't. Why would I? I'm excited.
Ah!
I'm so excited. It's gonna be good. Cool.
This is extremely traumatizing to me, Jonamus. I don't think you understand. Nancy Elowen.
Everyone calls her Auntie Elowen now.
No.
This is pretty good. Like we've done a little bit of exploration with like, Elowen's path as stranger, but we haven't really gotten into your family too much. So
which is so funny because that is so much of Elowen. Like so much of Elowen is her family, and it's funny how little you all know about it.
Well, I feel like you're trying to deflect blame onto us for not asking the questions, but I don't think Elowen wanted to talk about it. So.
No. Sorry, that's not what I mean. It's just
okay.
funny in general that like I think about Elowen's family all the time, and I have been this entire campaign.
Yeah.
Many decisions come from my family.
I think it's better to, at least in Nell's case, like I think because she like, I don't know, watches these sort of things very closely. Like I think that she's maybe clocked certain things, but doesn't always want to bring them up right away until the moment's right with Elowen, because it like certain things I don't want to like spring them on you. So
yeah,
they're
not happy things.
No.
It is interesting though that we've learned so much about like the negative side of you, this like stranger curse, and we haven't really gotten to see like the side of you that is involved with love or the lack of love. So
Right.
it's nice that we
Yeah,
might be
I'm
able to
excited to
witness
explore that. Yeah.
some positivity in Elowen's life, maybe.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Perhaps the issue is that even if she was given that love and support, she would reject it.
Look, at the end of the campaign, we'll talk all about this. I'll share with you all the short stories I've written about Elowen's life with her family.
Love it. Can't wait. Well, cool. We'll move on from this because I feel like I've antagonized you enough.
I'm so
and you're gonna
stressed.
get a healthy dose of it on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm actually so nervous.
Cool. Yeah, so everyone kind of makes their way to bed. Abe goes to pout, which is a really mean way of putting it, but he goes to think, which makes perfect sense. And then I got interrupted. I suck. But yeah, and then Teni was very.
It's hilarious to me too, because it's kind of the same situation with Gideon of being like, I'm really angry at you right now. I don't want you in my room for the next 8 hours. Oh, you're lying down? Oh, you're sleeping for the first time in like 20 years? Or maybe not that long. 8, 12? Oh, okay. I guess I'll just, I'll just fester. Let that stew.
Of that. Nell has no clue that you're mad at her, so it's fine.
Which is probably
I
a good thing.
I think Gideon knows.
Well, I think you guys had more of a conversation about it. We did not, so.
Yeah, you said that Abe's eyebrows went like angry
Yeah.
for a second and went back, and in that moment I was like, oh, Gideon knows. Gideon is gonna still press and still pry and try to figure out what went on there, but
Yeah.
like he's gonna try to be somewhat nice about it. It's
It's
just
funny because I whenever I picture Abe getting suddenly angry, I think of Grumpy Cat. 'Cause I don't know why, but just like, how do you confer being upset when your face doesn't move? Yeah.
yeah. So I think Gideon knows you're pissed. He'll probably hear about it, being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave you alone for a bit if that's what you want. You come talk to me when you want. I'll be there."
I think, like I was saying, that plays into the bit of like Nell not being the quickest on social clues, because that isn't just like really how her family like did things. So I'm gonna be very interested if you ever actually bring this up with her, because she's gonna be like, "What?" Like, oh my god, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. John was talking about like the little bit of lore that I made up on the spot about Nell never sleeping. I thought was fun. I thought that was a really cool moment, and I thought it was very gracious of you, Teni, to let me sleep, to not, because I was envisioning a scenario where I was just like in bed for the next day because I was so fucked on 3 levels of exhaustion and couldn't like resolve them. Because everyone was like doing stuff and I was googling really quick. I'm like, wait a second, can I take a rest or am I fucked right now? So I do appreciate that you let me at least remove one. So I'm only.
Well, I mean, like, the way I saw it was like, you guys had the previous day with like no combat, nothing like super exerting. Like, nobody else took damage and used resources really. So it was like, we could just say you were at that same level when you went to bed and you can actually have your long rest.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Yeah. So I was only like vaguely limping the next day. So love that for me. Yeah, the next day we receive a really casual summons to the House of the Circle to meet with like one of the highest political powers in all of Circumvent. So casual. Did anyone have any clue why we're being summoned? Like, I think it probably should have been obvious that it was from the night before, but I was just like, oh no, there's probably so many other reasons like that they're upset with us. Essentially.
I was surprised that they didn't ask us about what we had talked to Charity about. I kind of thought that it was going to be a dual function, that maybe they would like ask the, they would talk to us about the explosion and what happened, and then they would ask the viewers to leave, and like it would be off the record kind of thing, and then very hush hush, and then we would talk about what was going on from our perspective. But that didn't happen.
I thought it had something to do with Hillabro. I thought they were just bringing us all in just to chat with everybody.
Yeah, or if, I don't know, if some other like negative information had gone to them. I didn't necessarily think like Charity would have said anything. Potentially, I don't know, because she seemed pretty like forthright with us, which was nice that she was there too to kind of confirm that. But yeah, that was terrifying. So yeah, we're brought into this trial, which honestly went really well. Like I thought perhaps there was probably a lot of areas that we could have truly like fucked up in this, but I think we did great. Like no one seemed really angry at us, so.
I think this is where having those documents was really helpful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The power of paperwork.
Yes.
That's gonna be
The power
Nell's
of
oath
evidence.
in the future.
Power to
I-
the paperwork.
Should also relay this because I don't think you guys really clocked this as well, but they never did give those back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think they would.
They're a bunch of maldies, all of them. They're trying to hide the evidence.
My
Also,
incredibly
Abe
high
had some very-
insight
Yeah, on the
didn't,
dwarf.
didn't warrant anything, so
Yeah.
I think they're good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They've had some nice talk in there in that trial.
Yeah.
Very verbose.
Yeah, I mean, statesmanship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
liked
can
it.
do it.
Oh, what specifically happened in here? We met everyone, which was cool.
Yeah, that was a very cool
Mhm.
scene that you set, Teni. I really liked how
Yeah.
you set up each of them and described how they look. Loved the poofy tabaxi, or fluffy, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like really like tight.
You so visually picture that.
I love
Thanks.
that. Yeah, it was really
That was
intimidating.
cool.
Like, just I felt like there was just like constantly like another person that we were like, sorry, like they're what? Because there was the elected circle, but then it was also the two other people who were like basically second to Charity, and then the leader of the Arturian Knights.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the Armadon and the Arcanist. Yeah.
Stressful.
Very cool.
Yeah, oof.
I got super nervous the moment, like, when you had everybody introduce themselves and say where they're from. When I said Balesville and you had Hillabro, like, immediately pull back, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what is going through that person's mind?
Yeah. And it's interesting to me too that we are starting to make a name for ourselves, which is very cool, but there's also a level of stress to that too, because it depends like what exactly is being said, and also maybe who is privy to that information, because I don't want to make us more of a target than we already are for certain assassins. So
Also, question for Nell. Seeing as though there seems to be some sort of blossoming interest in Naivara Qualanthri, how did it feel to be introduced in a very formal manner to her mother, Altea Qualanthri of the Learned Circle?
yeah, I had that realization kind of like right before we were about to go. I think we went on break right before we did the trial.
Yeah.
I feel like. Yeah, and so I was in the bathroom and I was like, oh my god, like her mom is part of this. And I look like shit because I'm 2 levels of exhausted.
I love that moment so much. I look like shit, Giddy.
Also, Ryan, that moment has made me switch out one of my cantrips because I also have had prestidigitation this entire time, but I'm like, I don't want to have it because it's more fun for me to go to you because it feels like it's become like your thing now to use it. So I'm swapping that one out with something else because I'm
Awesome.
like, it's way more funny to like be like, Gideon, help! Terrible.
I had like a like a brother moment where like your sister needs help with something and they're being really aggressive about it, but then because you're not on that level, you go to that level. It's like, I need your help with this. And it's like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm here for you.
You're just getting more and more lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was so funny. Yeah, not how I want to meet like a potential like parent of someone that you're interested in while you're like on trial. I mean, it went well, and I didn't speak, I don't think, really for most of it, so she doesn't necessarily have anything to base it on. I don't think she also like knows me yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to see your guys' reactions too, because like it was a challenge, you know, having 6 significant NPCs, and then like, how do I make them stand out amongst them? And then I remembered, Christy, you told me about Brendan Lee Mulligan's method of like how to make NPCs stand out. It's like give each of them a very distinct voice, and based on lore within this game, I was like, she's from the Wilder, and I've historically given characters from the Wilder, you know, this. A pretty deep kind of a French accent sort of thing, and so I was like, you detected none of that.
Sound like that.
And it was like Nivara had none of that. Her mum, she's had hundreds of years with, well, not even hundreds, she's like 150 years old herself, so like 100-ish years of that accent.
Does my dad have a French accent?
I feel like he'd have like a Quebecois, like boonies,
Also,
French, Labrador.
Your dad got out of the Wilder when he was like 20, so he didn't have as much time to be steeped in it.
That's funny.
How can we
Gotta
talk to
get
Logan
the
about
accent in.
this? Where's Logan's character voice?
Yeah.
Logan's not from the Wilder either.
They weren't born there.
They weren't born
He
there.
is from the void.
Love to hear him do a French
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah, his
That would
native
be nice.
accent is.
But also, Adam, how was that experience for you, considering that NPC is also the widow of your previous character?
It was cool, and I really liked when you were describing her the other session as well as being, you know, like a very powerful political figure and like a self-made woman and everything. And I had always kind of envisioned her as this, like, you know, like these two, like a power couple, you know. The second they locked eyes, it was like, you're type A, I'm type A, the person who plays me isn't, but I am. And, you know, kind of thing. So it was very cool to see that come to fruition.
Cool.
And then to have a wacky daughter.
Hell yeah.
I was definitely interested in Paladins of Fire.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Here's the thing, I actually have like a full plan to like fully politely ask your permission. But then you called me out on it right away, and I was like, well, don't have to now. So
Nothing polite for you now.
yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
Did anything else happen in that trial that was interesting? I honestly, it was so stressful. I don't know if I remember all of it.
It honestly felt more like kind of like pomp and circumstance than anything else, because we were just kind of asked about what happened, and that was it.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, away you go.
Yeah, I guess was there the chance, Teni, that we could have really fucked it up? Like,
Oh, of
if,
course.
like I guess if roles were bad, but like I don't know, we
Or
had
if you-
charity on our side.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of a safeguard, but, you know, depending on how you worded things or if you said certain things, like, it might have gone very bad.
I just realized I didn't approach Hilla Pro after the trial. How fun.
I don't think he would have had that opportunity to. I think it's something like his people reach out to reschedule kind of thing.
Yeah, they know where we're staying.
Yeah. I almost think it would have been like disrespectful to be like, Mr. Rowe.
Oh, hey! Yeah, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
About that meeting that you canceled? Yeah, you canceled it. Remember that?
Cool. Oh my god. What happened afterwards? Oh, afterwards, Shandy Tarset came up to Rio to apologize, which was interesting. But also to let us know that we have a sky ship ready for us once we want to use it. It'll take us to New Fugleby, which is hilarious. Is New Fugleby a gnome town, or have I just been assuming that because of the
No,
name?
you are actually correct.
I love that. Yes, we get to meet some
Fan-
gnomes.
Nothing bad ever happens on airships.
No, never.
Never happened. Not in Denny's campaign worlds.
You've only ever
Not
been
in
on one
anything,
airship, and it
And
just
we
so
were
happens you're
attacked
going
by
to
3
war
dragons.
with dragons. You were going to war with dragons.
Yeah, nothing bad happened on that airship.
You knew what you were signing up for, clearly.
That airship survived the battle. Did not get wrecked by dragons while we were
Nyx,
fighting.
Pegasus did not survive.
Yeah, rip.
That's sad.
That battle was so fucking cool. God
it was.
damn.
Well, our airship trip is just gonna be super boring. So
You know what?
no worries there.
I'm stoked.
And you have no reason to go back to visit Dan the Paladin.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Then he
See, that's
stopped.
one of those things, Denny, where you say a thing and I spiral on it for a minute.
Yeah.
Why do you keep bringing that up?
I think because he knows that we have this reaction to it.
Or do we have to go back there? We'll go back there. We'll
Ah.
drag this campaign out as long as we have to.
As long as we want to, damn
You
it.
have any idea how many threads we have to unravel still, and how long that's gonna take us?
This is a knotted up sweater, my dude.
But you could also just send a messenger there and be like, hey, we've decided to take another route, so we won't be passing by.
This is a whole ass road.
P.S. Are you dead?
But we
P.S. Are you
Please
dead?
respond to this message.
can't cast to him.
Yes
we,
or
could only,
no?
we could only cast to like his like weirdly powerful monk stable hand, who we don't trust anyway.
I'm
so.
talking
could.
about a physical letter.
What? Why?
Huh?
How would I
real
do that if I
a
have
real
magic?
letter? Yuck.
Look, there's only like a small chance the message won't send if I have a description of the person.
We don't have a description. We just know that his name is Dan the Paladin. We don't really know what he looks like. Okay.
There is also a statue commemorating the heroes of Brobar in the city. Maybe go give that a look.
There we go. Okay, let's try that. Let's do that first.
I wonder if a lot of clerics do that.
Just, like,
prank
go
call
look at the
Dan
statue.
Paladin. Yeah. Hey.
I kind of
funny.
love that, actually. You know,
Yeah.
like they try to send a message to someone they never met before, and they just consult the annals of history and learn about them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
That would be
Alright.
funny.
I think all like famous people in fantasy worlds have to like, get like a fantasy like secretary to block their magical messages.
Whoa. That's interesting. Yeah, because would you just get bombarded?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
You've reached the sending of Dan the Paladin. He's not in at the moment. Please leave a message
I
with
should
me.
message Kardrak.
Oh
Yeah, do
God,
it.
why?
If he's
Yeah, oh
my
alive,
lord.
it'll find
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, but he doesn't
You know
have to
what he-
respond, right?
Yeah,
He
you might get the same,
tells him.
like-
But I
saying-
know if he gets the message.
Yeah, well, it might be the same thing as when you try to message patients. So
True.
Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't done that before.
yeah.
I'm too
I
scared.
was also thinking, like, just
Good
message
answer.
Sarze.
We should just message
Hey,
everybody.
how's it going? You
What
coming
if she has,
to
like-
attack us anytime soon in the dark?
What if she
at
has some
night
sort of
while I
ability to
sleep?
like track a magical signature though? And then
I think
knows
she
where-
already knows how to
He
track
already
us.
knows how to follow us.
Well, you know, maybe if you call somebody too many times, they suddenly go, all right, you're moving up the priority chain of you must die.
Yeah, we could bait her out.
She can't get us on a sky ship, probably.
She turned into a cloud.
It's a
She
mimic.
could get us
did.
literally anywhere.
Very slow moving cloud.
I did
Not
forget
to
about
like,
that.
not to like hype up my ex character's kid or anything like that, you know. But she's kind of the fucking best. All right.
I feel like you're planting a lot of like things for Denny to fuck us
Look.
up with here that I would prefer you didn't.
Here's the deal. My character, Miles, was exceptional at his job.
Okay.
But I have insinuated while I was playing that game, and Denny also, of course, had a huge part in this, making the point that my daughter was far more gifted than Miles ever was. So, intelligence-wise, she's just smarter than he ever was. So, like, you give her the same sort of training or whatever, because she's doing bounty hunter stuff. So, like, I don't know when she decided to pick that up. I don't know anything about that. But I was very clear when I was playing Miles to not, like, send her down that path. It was more so like, I'll teach her some things to keep her safe, but not like, yeah, kid, you should be an assassin. You should be a bounty hunter. You should do that. That was not his goal whatsoever. So, you know, I don't know why that's happening, and it's making me concerned. So, you know.
Well, what happened is that campaign ended, and any jurisdiction you had over that character went to Denny now. So way to fucking go, Ryan.
Correct. So, you know, the only jurisdiction I have is knowing that she is very smart and very quick.
Not helpful. None of this is helpful.
She's better than my character ever was.
You need to before this. She just becomes way too OP, and she just rips all of her heads off with her brain. So,
And his character
Yeah, guys,
based off
This
at
is
16th
fascinating.
level.
Sorry, no. This is fascinating. What I need to know is what a sex pest voice is, though. Anthony,
Oh,
God
please.
damn it.
Abria, it's something Abria Iyengar coined. I think it was like on an episode of Nadpod.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to hang out or
Okay.
something? Like,
Yeah, kind of like the Biz Glitterdew voice from Fantasy
Right.
High. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For-
Oh, okay.
For the people who are watching this post on YouTube, this is what you miss in the chat when you're not watching this live.
Yeah,
you're
deep,
welcome.
Deep discussion with Sex Pest voice. Anyway, I'm just gonna move us on because
Such
it's
an
just too much for me.
awful term.
We were also asked by Tarzette to look into someone named. Sorry, my cat's sleeping on my lap. And someone named Cadway Fine Whistle, who's a member of the Arcanet who they haven't heard of. So love that little plot hook for us because it's not like we have enough to do right now. Tarzette.
We just have to spend another 2 weeks in a city, and then
What? Ooh, let's.
Simply can't. We don't have time.
What building do we think we're gonna explode in Fugleby?
ooh,
But we have to get there to
City-
see.
there's
City
gonna be
Hall.
so many though, because it's so inventive.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just kind of like we've got things to do. We need to streamline this. We're gonna crash the sky ship into the tallest building in New Fugleby and just get it right out of the way, right out of the gate.
Kind of like
Yeah.
hit the tip off of something and keep going, you know?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hell yeah. You know, we'll load it up with a bunch of like high percentage alcohol while we do it too and like set it ablaze.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Perfect.
Yeah, we know that works.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. We learned that from
Tried and true.
Bernard. Thanks, Bernard.
Yeah. Cool. We also check in with Cap where he tells us again about Blue Spark, which he already told us, but some people forgot. Not me, that's for sure. He doesn't actually know what she looks like though, which was baffling. They're just kind of like rivals by name, which is
Is that really that
No, I
baffling?
mean somebody
I
called
guess.
it. Somebody called it right out. You know, it's very much a one-sided rivalry where she probably doesn't even know he
okay.
exists.
that's fair.
Mm.
Good to know.
like a
yeah.
high school crush.
Which I love that.
I love that.
That sounds very Cap.
So yeah, it's so Cap.
very Cap.
Honest, Teni, you did a great job being Cap. It felt just like Jesse was here.
It really did. Yeah. It was so good.
Arr.
Yeah. He did confirm that Blue Spark is moving south, which goes into my Tempest Expanse because that little thing of sea connects to it. But we were also told to look at, I don't have the map open now, somewhere else. The Misty Grotto as well, and the Wamara Sea. Like we should talk to sailors there potentially about something, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I made that note, but I
So
can't remember
far,
what we were
though.
told, like why we were talking now. I guess just about,
Like if you wanted more information about Blue Spark, I'm pretty sure.
yes, that's probably it.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about hijacking this airship so we can just get places quicker?
I was gonna say, boy, we have a lot of spots to hit.
Yeah, God. I am feeling validated though, like if it is that like things are pointing towards Temps Expanse, that we get to go there, because I really wanted to go there, but it felt like one of those things that's like, is this just like a little unnecessary trip that I just want to do for me? Or is this gonna be like
I think it's
worthwhile?
there might be at least one other road that heads there because I feel like Baz in his stubbornness will chase after that dragon and he will take a platoon of cleansing breath over there just because he's boneheaded.
Yes. It might be time for another round of tinfoil hat corner, just so the audience can know where I'm at. And I also don't know if Adam ever saw my messages in the chat about what I was thinking. Okay, probably
The
not.
Facebook chat?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Basically, so it seems like there's a lot of things like kind of, and this might be a coincidence, and I might be reading into it too much. Who knows? But I feel like a lot of things are kind of like coalescing at the Tempest Expanse because yes, the dragon went there. Baz confirmed that like dragons are kind of coming from there, so he went there too. Potentially, Malden stuff is going there because you did have that vision that was related to that area. So I'm like, okay, so what does this all mean if you put it together? Is Malden a dragon? Because my whole thing was like, you said I was close, but I thought he was bird, so. And my whole thing was like, chickens are descended from dinosaurs in the real world, and in fantasy, a dragon is a dinosaur, so it makes sense. that one is a bit far off. But so he either is a dragon or he's working with them. Like maybe he wants to bring them back. Not entirely convinced that Boz isn't like having some sort of Malden connection, even if he's not aware of it. He might be having like an Alumbrite connection. I don't know. I think a lot is like happening here, and I'm very suspicious.
And we started this campaign off chasing chickens.
Hell yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, it
Damn.
all comes full circle.
Everything
Ah,
means
shit. I gotta scrap it
something.
all. Anthony ruined the whole thing.
Starts with chickens.
Oh, he's
ends
been
with
planting
chickens.
seeds from the beginning.
Yeah. Ooh. And we were like, "Ooh,
Eggs.
chickens." It's funny. It's a Zelda reference, but he said, "No, this is a reference to the overarching plot of the
This
campaign."
is a reference to things you don't even understand. You cannot even comprehend.
You think you can pull a fast one on us, Teni?
Yes,
Not
yes, he
to
can.
you.
Came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, I'm gonna be so fascinated if any of this garbage I
dragon,
just
actually.
said was correct. I'll feel
I
really.
think the dragon
chickens in
theory.
one
I
egg.
think the dragon theory holds some weight.
Which part, that he's working with them or he is one?
Both. Oh, I don't know. But I think dragons.
He is a chicken and a dragon, and he controls all chickens and dragons, and
Uh-huh.
that's how the farmer,
those things.
that's how the assassins knew where you were going, because the chickens are informants for the dragons and the Malden.
Oh,
I'm not picturing
Drax been
a
right all
horrific
along.
creature that is like a
It all
human
comes
chicken
back to
dragon
birds.
chimera. That's
Chicken
awful.
dragon chimera.
Human
That'd be
chicken, human chicken dragon.
Oh,
God, I
not-
hate that.
don't add
Why did you have
human.
to add
Awful.
human in there,
I
man?
don't like
I
human
don't
in that at
know
all.
why my brain did that. Okay, I don't know. I like
Fucking
horror
eldritch
games, I'm
horror
sorry.
bullshit.
All right, what's next?
Anyway, that's all I had to say. You can take your tinfoil hats off now.
Oh.
And yeah, we rounded out this session with some of us just going a little bit slap happy because of all of the tension. So we some of us went shopping and got some crop tops from, is it Hot Cropic? Is that,
Hot crop
Hot
it.
crop it.
Hot crap
you're
it.
saying crop it? Why isn't
Yeah,
it Cropic?
hot- Because that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't have to. It's whatever.
I think
It's
it's,
a pun,
crop
pun,
it
pun.
because you're cropping it,
Yeah, I
which is
guess
the
so.
shirt.
Oh, no, Jonamus has given us confirmation. It is hot cropic.
Thank
Hot
you.
That's what I
Jonas.
thought it was. Yeah.
Yes,
I
you kept
figured it
saying
was
crop
Hot
it, and I
Topic.
was like, I think it can be whatever your heart desires, but we can just disagree.
I feel like this whole thing started because I was talking about a crop top because I was wearing that to the hearing.
But
because
Jonamus
Jack's
is the
clothes
one
were
that gave
burned.
us the name.
That's
Yeah.
true. He did.
True.
So he is the
All right,
final say.
Jonamus,
Thanks, Jonamus.
you got
Now,
it. I'll change my notes.
now everybody's gonna be rocking crop tops and leather jackets with spikes on the shoulders and spike bracelets and shit.
I already got spikes on my back.
We all
Gonna
get
grow out
really.
a big Eddie
pumped.
Munson hairdo. It's gonna be sick.
Oh my god! I want to cosplay this, and it's so bad. Anyway, not important. Yeah, so we sometimes go shopping and it's chill. But I guess then also Gideon and Abe had an intense conversation that I just forgot about completely. So if you guys want to talk about that and maybe like remind me what that was about, that would be great.
Oh, it was just like
Very
Gideon
casual.
very casually not being okay. Being like, are you okay? And Abe's like, no. I don't think any of us are. And I was like, yeah, probably. Being like, yeah, I'm not okay. And then Gideon's like, look, I'm not gonna tell the group that you stuck around to see what was up with Bernarda. I want to know what that was about. You should tell the group, like that's your duty to do that if that's gonna be a thing. If it is a thing, but we talked about it, it's not a thing. It was a naive thought, and all of the we had an interesting little debate there, which was cool. So I guess it's not really a thing. I was worried it was like a, oh, Malden still has a grip on me type thing. That was my thought, and I was also like, what the fuck? And then you just didn't leave, and I was like, did he just fucking like not want to leave the building at all? He's just given up on us. Like, what the fuck? So like Gideon had like all sorts of horrible thoughts going through his head. Like, is Abe just like, did Abe just like get this cult put after us and then just dip? Like, is that like what Abe did? That's why Gideon was like, what the fuck was that, man? Like, why'd you stay? You should let's talk about it right now, please. Because I was like, this is a thought that I can't let fester within this character because it will fester. So that's what my side of that was about. But then, go ahead, Adam.
You summed it up pretty good. Just being like, you know, I mean, I think there's more to it that, and I said this after the fact too, of being like, yeah, there was more that I immediately thought of after we finished. So it's probably not the end of that conversation, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Did
And
you
I think
outright?
it was, sorry?
Did you outright say to Gideon that you were upset with him?
No, I implied it with my brow game.
His exceptional
Excellent.
eyebrow game.
Did you have anything else to add to that? I cut you off.
I don't think so. I think between earlier questions on this very after party,
This one?
this show that we are doing, right? Meow.
Crazy.
That we covered it.
Yeah. And then Abe pressed me for questions about why I shot the gun.
Yeah, because you know, we totally had that situation, and then we totally didn't. And Abe didn't know what was happening because all Elwyn said was stop moving. And then Nell barged in and teleported into the middle of the room,
It was in the middle, it was behind people.
into the middle of the building that I hadn't even seen half of yet, so who knows who was there.
Well,
Figured
Nell
Sarze and
isn't.
Kardrek having a game of Go Fish.
Maybe that would have been cool. Nell doesn't know your matter though, so it's
That's
fine.
true, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like so great that we're still best friends. Yay. Shit, I was gonna say. Oh, there's a few different conversations that still need to pick back up. I think, like obviously this one between you guys, but that like, I think Gideon wants to continue the conversation we were having.
Yep. There's a lot of
So I'm
Gideon conversations.
just waiting.
that
I'm like,
have been cut off. or
feel
need
free to
get
come and like ruin my day if you. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, just
Like I'm not gonna bring it up. Like,
Oh.
so
All right.
go. Yeah, I'm not interested in talking about it again. But if you bring it up, I will.
Oh, I'll find a moment. Hey, how's your day going? Good? Hey, let's chat.
Why? What? Just run away.
No, please don't.
So I know you're going on your first date in 20 minutes, but
I show up. I'm just like,
Don't
my
tempt
eyes
me.
are like super puffy from crying. Hey.
I got you some music.
It's so sweaty. Like all the pages are stuck together.
Yeah.
Here you go. Yeah. Well,
Oh, we didn't talk about the gift that you got, Nivera?
Nivara.
Nivara.
was it
She's
for
your
her?
The
daughter.
gift that you acquired from a very eccentric Argon folk.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
I loved that image of that argument.
They were great.
Love them.
So funny. Yeah. Why? What's up? What do you want to know?
About that, I guess. Yeah, that's it. That hit the nail on the head.
I don't know. I just think Nella's like me or like my family where we don't really talk to each other when it comes to emotional things. We instead just like buy gifts or like cards. So I was having that same panic of being like, oh, I would love to talk to her again, but I need a reason. So I will get her something. So that's normal. Again, too, I think like she's never really made friends before that haven't just been like ones she's grown up with, like other than you guys. And like we kind of like went through circumstances that like just kind of threw us together. So it's like, oh, this is a new person to try and be friends with. I don't know what's normal in this situation. I probably can't just like show up again. That'd be fucking awkward. So I'll get her a gift.
Maybe don't bring your dragonborn friend next time.
I didn't want to bring you the first time, but you insisted.
Yeah, we have a rule.
I know, it's really annoying. Yeah, no, I think it's something like I was very like struck by her story of like how she like doesn't, I don't know, she's feeling a little bit trapped and would like rather be like pursuing like music stuff. And like I know we're about to blitz out of here anyways, so I just wanted to leave something to be like, you know, don't like close this path off forever. potentially, and who knows, because I probably won't see her again for a really long time anyways, so just gonna be like, here you go. And then I also want to learn a musical instrument myself, because it infuriates me that my only like proficiency is dragon chess. I just think it would be more fun if I had like something else. So yeah, and that's that. That's all I have to say. Yeah, so we left off in front of Balloon's house. Yes, Geronimo, I did buy an instrument. I think I bought a little harp. A lyre, I think I bought.
A lyre?
Yes, gifted from one of the prominent music sellers in Bulbar.
Oh,
It's like you added 7 more L's to that.
Bulbar.
I love it. It's so good. In retrospect, I actually realized like I probably didn't really need to buy an instrument, because then I thought it was kind of nice, like with the piece that I bought, that I could have just like had it so that Nels sings like me, but I was panicked in the moment, so we'll see if I do anything with the lyre.
Well, when the music seller, is so present and ready to help, it's a lot to process.
It was such a good energy to bring to
Good
that,
sales.
because Nell was so stressed, and that did not help. Like, what is happening? Where am I?
That voice just reminds me. I can't remember where it's from, but it's just this quote. It's like,
Nizimbot.
"Oh where, oh where,
Yes.
a fish did go, a fish, a fish, a fish. Oh."
Oh god.
But yes, Adam, Hedonism Bot is a fantastic example of that voice. Give me an oil. Oh.
That's from Futurama, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. I was like, I think I know what this is about, but I just want to make sure. Ooh, all right, team. I don't have any fun questions to end us off on, so, yep, that's all I got.
What is your favorite color?
Your or your
had
character?
a favorite color. What would it be?
Hello, sir. I don't think I've thought like, in context of my Nell's favorite color. I can make it up.
Oh,
Does Nell like the orange motif of Fyra, or does she prefer a different color palette?
I think she likes it, but it's because I like it.
That's
Like that.
acceptable.
Yeah, that's a valid
I specifically picked that color because it's like, well, it worked with the theme, like the fire element of it, but also I just really like that color. I think I was really specific with you, Denny, about like what shade of burnt orange it was. So I was like, it can't be too red. I don't like red. But so I don't know if it's her favorite color, but like she does like it. So
Denny's in Photoshop, just like painstakingly changing the color number.
I don't think I gave you a number, but I was definitely like, it's not red, it's burnt orange.
I got some swatches. I know.
Yeah, that's true. I made you a little mood board. Well, I guess I answered everyone else. Do you guys have a favorite color?
I like
I mean-
purple.
Oh, you or Gideon?
Ryan loves purple. Gideon
Good color.
likes whatever color can suit the situation. Green, he wears a lot of green right now because he's a traveler. He travels a lot in the woods. But if we make a travel over to a desert area, he might be wearing a lot more like tans and light browns and yellows and whatnot.
My favorite color is camo.
Oh no.
Boy.
My favorite color is I don't know. No, I think Gideon's favorite color is probably green. He has a lot of green going on, whether it be his magic, his eyeballs, his shirt, or his poncho. He's got a lot of green going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Jack's
think-
favorite. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Ellen's favorite color is green too. I was just writing about this weekend, but I think her mom was very like naturey. I think her mom had a lot of like greenery and plants and stuff in their house. So I was like, I think her mom's like a full wood elf. There's a lot of plants and greenery in her life.
Well, you and I will have a talk about what that means, because Christy and I just had this conversation.
Yeah, I think you were in the washroom. I was talking about like, is there like a divination between like wood elves and high elves
Sure.
in this? And it was kind of like not.
It's more, it's
so
more like
much.
it's societal based. Like going with that option kind of implies that they've lived more on the material plane.
I think my mom did.
Which absolutely would have
not
made
accurate,
sense,
yeah.
considering your family had to flee during the desolation.
He was there for a weekend trip.
Yeah. Bad weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time to
Might
be
have
there.
been just a weekend in the Wilder.
True. Does
All
time?
that
Yeah, does
timey-wimey
time
stuff.
move differently there? I don't know if we necessarily know that. Like
Yeah,
that's
we-
like that's what it is.
I don't know that. Look,
But-
my lifetime is already so complicated. I cannot handle dealing with that as well.
Join the club. I'm
True.
complicated.
Yeah.
What's
We're
your
all super
favorite color?
complicated.
Go for it, Jack.
Adam.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I think first half, green. For obvious reasons. Second half, blue.
Blue.
Weird.
Simple.
It's like
For
I
obvious
almost could have
reasons.
guessed all of these.
So in the first half, it was green because Gideon wore so much green, and in the second half, it's blue because
The sky's blue.
okay. I thought it was gonna be maybe because like we were just on like the water or something.
Because the party is so sad.
Part of me just wanted to be like, oh, it's because Abe has only ever been able to see green and blue because that's the color of his eyes.
Well, this is a nice change. This is some.
That would be so funny.
This is so
Okay,
funny.
Very
Logan
like
was here, I'd say
monochromatic.
like, what is it, R62 or something, 67. It's a theater joke. It's bad.
Geronimo, that's so sweet.
Yeah, Geronimo, but the second half, it's blue because he's missing his chats with Gideon.
Oh. Now I
love
gotta
that.
chat with Abe.
Yep.
Adorable.
All right.
Whether he wants to or not.
Yep. Too bad, Abe. I know you're mad.
Drac.
I'm coming in.
I think. Oh, it's tough because obviously Drac wears green because that's like the color of his god and also like his garb of his people. But I think his favorite color is probably also blue because he only gets to see it at home so many times a year. In fact,
Whoa.
once.
That's
So you
a
must
good
love-
answer.
You love looking into Abe's eyes.
They're a nice shade.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
In your eyes.
I don't think Nell's favorite color is orange. She just likes it. I didn't pick one. I'm gonna say her favorite color is gold. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say blue.
It's also
We split the
blue.
party by what your
For
favorite
a
color is.
different- my favorite color is what's the fusion of blue and green? Teal.
Turquoise?
Turquoise.
Bleen.
Green. Ooh,
Classic.
blue.
Grew.
Teal. Like, what's their names? Ponytail. Remember the elf?
Oh,
Teal
Lyco.
Teal bun.
Oh, yeah, Dallas, you would remember that.
I
His name
remember.
is Teal bun.
Yes, the one that Dallas is dressed up as.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Another agent of Malden.
Who we'll never see again.
Never.
Yeah.
It's really
so
a shame.
cute.
Never gonna see that daddy's boy again. That's for sure. Yeah, team. I'm gonna wrap it up
Definitely not his
unless
baby or daddy.
what?
I said definitely not his daddy either.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you already saw him, so
Yeah, that's true. He was disappointed.
yeah.
Yeah, he's made his annual visitation. I think we're good
Yep.
for a while.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna wrap it up unless anyone else has something they would like to pontificate on. No. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this hefty episode of After Party. We discussed quite a bit about the last 3 episodes of Play Dicely. And I'm really looking forward to the next episode where we just delve into Elwyn's emotions. And I know Dallas is looking forward to it as well. So if you'd like to join us for that, it's going to be this Sunday, August 14th at 6 p.m. right here on Twitch. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about Play Dicely in the future that you would like us to answer, you can send them to me on Twitter at CBKClo or them also to me at cbkclo@gmail.com. And that is all for us. And we invite you to join us next time on Play Dicely After Party. Goodbye.
Firework noise.
Goodbye.
Bye.